last we left off, the party had set up for their meeting with the Queen in the Main Gate Tavern. Upon completing a few steps toward precaution, the party discussed at length what they were looking to gain from this meeting that they themselves had set up with the Queen. It quickly became clear that not only did they have no idea what to expect, but they also didn't quite know what they were hoping to gain from the meeting either. Eventually, they settled on winging it, presuming that whatever dialogue occurred naturally during the meeting would lead them in the direction they needed to go. That night, Bess and Alistair prayed to Mistra, Doran prayed to the rock, and the party took turns keeping a watchful eye in case the Queen had any tricks up her sleeve. After a relatively uneventful night, the party made final preparations for their meeting. At about noon the following day, the Queen's 2 personal guards entered the room, inspected the area, and motioned for the Queen to enter. And the Queen wore an elegant long blue flowing robe, one she mentioned she had specifically made for this occasion. Initial talks were simple and strange. The Queen held her usual friendly demeanor, whilst Six rambled on about sandwiches.
Good.
But it became very clear, very quickly, that the Queen had come prepared, just in case. She warned that she had several ways of punishing the party if they tried anything she wouldn't like. Eventually, however, as the party posed no offers, deals, or ultimatums to the Queen, she posed something to them. She wanted the strange and powerful scroll Bess had in her possession that the party had retrieved from the underground library. In return, she would adhere to the party's wishes and leave Direwood forever. This set off several red flags for the party immediately, and they asked for a moment to discuss amongst themselves. The Queen wasn't too keen on this, but she said she wouldn't stop them. The party proceeded upstairs, where Bess attempted in multiple ways to get a better understanding of the scroll. After cryptic messages and the threat of the unknown becoming abundantly clear, the party unanimously decided not to give the Queen the scroll under any circumstances. Returning to the meeting spot in the tavern just behind the bar, the party informed the Queen of their decision. And with that, the conversation briefly returned to sandwiches, which the Queen took as her sign to leave. As she got up, seeming a little sad, Six mocked her uproariously and at length, despite her lack of interest, as she and her guards left. Not, of course, without a parting scare from Dorn, who feigned activating his traps. As the Queen left, the party began discussing their situation, realizing many lives were at stake and they weren't sure of how to proceed. They decided that they needed to send some messages of warning to people and to start investigating the scroll immediately, tossing around the idea of somehow obtaining aid from priests in that matter. Doran and Alistair broke off for a moment to have a private conversation, while Six and Bess did much the same, and will return just after these private conversations as Doran returns to the bar to Bess and Six, and Alistair decided to remain upstairs for a moment. So I'll take us back to the Main Gate Tavern here.
Why did I always think that Six was furry?
I'm sorry.
I think I related him to Durathel.
Durathel?
Because they both have the they both have the tattoos, and my brain is kind of like, yeah, Six is probably furry too.
Yeah, Six is a cat or something. No.
He just hasn't admitted it yet.
Yeah. So, Doran, as you return to the bar to Bess and Six and Alistair decided to remain upstairs, what is your guys' next move?
You want to help me with something that could only partially kind of end poorly if we don't do it properly?
That.
Oh, I gestured to the chairs that have my bombs on them. I want those chair seats. I want to break the chairs apart and take the seats off of them, so wherever we go, we can have 3 bombs on us.
What's that? I'm sorry, Jason, did you say something?
I said how that sounds good. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
My
All right.
mic's not cutting it tonight. I don't know what's up.
All right.
It probably is having a sick day.
Between Doran, here's the thing. We could roll for this, but between Doran knowing his spell and Six being a fucking mid to high level monk, you guys will be able to easily break just the bottom, like the sitting rounded portion of the stools off. I mean, they're kind of large. They're stools, but how are you gonna carry them?
How heavy are they?
Just the portions you have, maybe just a few pounds.
Cool. I will like straight up put it behind my backpack and like tighten my bag so it's against my back.
Okay, so you're just gonna have them on your back.
Yeah.
Okay.
My backpack doesn't have much in it.
Okay.
Could I fit it in my backpack?
I mean, it would be. These aren't nice big stools or anything. I'm just gonna say, yeah, why not? You have 3 wooden disc bombs on your person.
Because most of my stuff is in my bag of holding. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So actually, your backpack would be relatively free. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
basically empty.
Yeah.
Cool. I am gonna label it as 3 chair bombs.
You have 3 chair bombs. Yeah, as long as you remember what spell, what level, how much damage they do. Yep, you got them.
I always have the spell.
So, Alistair, what are you doing upstairs? Wow.
Sitting and seething for a few minutes.
Seething for a few minutes. Okay, so while he's upstairs, doesn't seem to be coming down. Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're downstairs, the 3 of you?
I will look at Six and go, all right, now the only scary thing that's going to come from this is there's a very certain phrase I cannot say any longer. And if I ever say it, I go boom.
What is it?
I glare.
Didn't you also tell them that they could activate it with the phrase?
Yeah, but I'm not repeating that to them at this moment.
I mean, because this would have just happened last night, I will allow you to remind everybody what the phrase is.
The phrase is, I have it in my notes, give me a second.
It was, so we're fighting then, or something along those lines?
I guess we're fighting now.
I guess we're fighting now. So
Do
you
not
all
say
know,
that.
if you say, I guess we're fighting now, you will probably blow Doran up.
You
Ooh,
will definitely blow Doran up.
tactics.
Guess we're fighting the queen now.
Now that doesn't set it off. But you're turning.
Why would I want to set off a bomb?
I don't know, Six. You are an enigma.
I was just saying that I guess we're fighting the queen now.
Well, probably.
Doran, you just like anxiously look back at your back.
You can feel the disc start
you can
vibrating
feel
like
him start to
that.
like as he like starts the phrase.
Also, complete side note, nothing D&D related. So at the start of this session, I had 3 packs of Mentos, but at this point, I'm all out of Mentos.
Quit eating Mentos.
I have done nothing but eat Mentos since we started playing.
You get any women toes at all?
Jason, I'm beginning to
Jason.
suspect that you have a foot fetish.
No, I just like to talk about it.
All right.
So back to
kinda look
D&D
up-
related things.
I look
Yeah,
around
sorry.
and go, have you guys sent your messages?
No, you have not.
Yeah, we did that.
Good.
She
So
looks
we're all
over
good
at
to-
6 like,
So we're all good to move forward. No one's gonna be harmed. We're all gonna be super safe. Everyone knows that they're in danger. Who are in danger?
Holden, please don't make me type up actual messages.
You said you would last week. You said you'd type them out.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm quite confident with 25 words. You're trying to get just a warning across. You can wing it in like 15 words or less. I presume you're going to be sending the same message to whoever needs the warning too. So you
Yeah.
probably only need to write one.
Okay.
So why don't you tell me who would you message first? Who would be the first person you warn of the queen and her shenanigans?
Probably the commander.
The commander. Okay. So
Right? I forget who all was. I was not all there last week, honey.
The people threatened were the commander and Willow directly. They were both
Okay.
directly threatened by the queen.
Mhm. And you know via message that Alistair's father has already been taken captive to some degree.
Okay, but he's already taken captive, so we don't really need to send him a message.
So you want to send
Wait.
messages to Willows and the commander.
Careful watching for the queen. I'm already tied up. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
The queen is after you. Note.
Yeah, just wing it.
Yeah.
You got 25 words. You're sending a message to Light, cast a spell. Just tell me what you say. You'll be fine. You don't need to type out exactly 25 words. You got this.
During our meeting,
Mhm.
the queen directly threatened you.
Yep.
Be cautious. Be safe. Best.
Best. That's only 13 words. See, you're good. You don't need to type out every one. You're good. Okay, so you send that to the commander and then Willows.
Fuck yeah, baby.
All right, so you send the first one to the commander. You say that, and there's a brief pause until he responds. Understood. Thanks for the warning. And then you send it to Willows, who responds, She directly threatened me. Very well. I'll keep my wits about me. Thanks for the heads up, Bess. You can hear like the pause as he almost said Elizabeth, and he goes, Bess. So,
Funny.
you have sent those 2 warnings. What is the party's next move?
Is Mr. Ali
Yeah,
there?
I would come down.
Alistair,
Mr.
yeah,
Ali Berry.
Well, shut up. I hate that. Eventually, after you send a couple of messages and you guys kind of sit there pondering for a moment, Alistair does come down the stairs.
Should we also warn anyone at the church, Doran?
They didn't threaten the church.
Not directly, but perhaps that the queen is in the mind to do some harm.
I would rather not until we figure out what's completely going on over there with the evil deity that some people seem to be worshipping. I would rather not get them quite involved.
For a second, I thought you were just drinking a bottle of vanilla extract.
Oh, that reminds me.
You don't know. Maybe I am.
You may be. Okay, well then...
Do we think we should head over to the Precians first and see if they know if they could request someone of magical prowess come our way?
Perhaps if we send a message to the originator, he might be able to suggest someone, or would know the correct person to suggest someone.
Well, yes.
We do have a bit of a rapport with him.
Correct, but also we know they have a flying ship that they could get here maybe quicker if we talk to the military men who are here. If we just let them look at the book and give a little bit of trust. Because I believe we also have a rapport with, what's his face? We just sent him a message. 6, you know him very decently?
What?
Oh, Willows?
Oh, yes, him.
Willows.
I know. We have a decent rapport with him. I mean, he seems
Agreed.
to really enjoy Bess's company because he knows her from being a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what I'm weary of is, yes, we can trust the originator. You guys have some weird connection with that man, but by at least letting them look at it, we might be able to build up a different rapport with these guys.
None of that made it through.
None of it?
None of me? Or none
Yeah,
of Blake?
yeah. None of you.
Oh,
Blake was
oh,
fine. Blake was
oh,
fine. No,
weird.
you're just talking, and it was like a very muffled voice 6 miles away.
he
That's
is about
strange.
6 miles away from us right now.
Yeah, give or
6.
take a few hundred. I don't know.
Shall we head over to speak with Willows then? I mean, he's been pre-warned, but we can head over and have a more in-depth conversation.
Yes. Miss Bess of the Bessingtons. I give her a little smile.
Not quite, but yes.
Direwood Bessingtons.
May I give it a little peeksy at the scroll?
What?
May I give a little peeksy at the scroll?
Okay. I would give you the scroll.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a little peeksy.
Yeah. Okay, you open it up. You're gonna take a look. Thing is,
That shit makes your mind go ow.
it does make your mind go out. Thing is, you're not trained in. Well, do you have proficiency in Arcana?
Do I have proficiency in Arcana? The answer is yes.
Yes, you do. Okay, you're not trained. You're not learned in the arcane, But
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
hold on.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
So you're not learned, you're not trained in the arcane, but you know, just it comes to you instinctively. And so what you gather from just looking at this, it doesn't hurt your head as much, but it is perplexing. Something holding it, you can feel power radiating into your hands, and you feel powerful holding it. It is strange, and you're looking at it. A lot of the things written on it don't make sense to you. You have no. Go ahead and make an Arcana check, regardless. And we'll see. Actually,
I lost my mouse.
Well, I hope you find it.
Like on my 3 monitors, I can't find it. Sorry about that.
an 8. Okay, so you're looking at it. Not a lot of the symbols make sense, and you can glean a little bit just because because of what Beth said. The strange, indescribable and unpredictable capabilities of the scroll. And because she mentioned it was conjuration, you gather you could, if you studied it, you might be able to make some of the themes out. And maybe alongside Bess, maybe you could learn more because she's more learned in the traditional sense. But looking at it right now, you feel powerful holding it. It's very strange. You have no idea what to make of it.
Okay. Do I notice any symbols that are reappearing more often than others?
Make an investigation check, actually. This has nothing to do with Arcana. I'm going to have you make a separate roll.
Nope.
2. Perhaps there are a lot of symbols that you can see appear multiple times, but you don't quite see a pattern. Not with that roll.
Okay. Then, what I would like to do, how many lines are on the first page?
I mean, if you had to take a guess just kind of by looking the way things are written up, it's not like a standard, it's not like a book where there's lines. It's like there's a section here that looks to be about 5 lines, all tiny, but then over here there's larger writing, maybe 3 lines there. You'd have, if you just kind of took a look, you'd probably guess somewhere between like 26 and 30.
I will pick line. I basically pick 6 random lines and make them appear on my skin.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
Do I feel anything happen to my arm?
So you're literally just like making your not illusioning, because you can actually do this. You make tattoos on yourself.
Yep.
Essentially. You don't feel anything. You don't know. In a strange sense, however, actually, no, I take that back. You kind of do. You said 6 random lines?
Yeah. I'm testing. I'm fucking around.
Yeah. 6 completely random lines, just spread throughout.
Yes.
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay, and after noticing nothing from those, I will do the first entire group.
The first group. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Well, I'm good at those.
19. Okay. You do this, and you all watch as he holds his arm out, and he kind of creates these tattoos of the first block of writing, and you watch as it forces his arm to change back to white. You don't feel anything, but you just, as you're sitting there, the tattoos are there, but your arm is forced white, and you can't change it back.
How long does that last before I can change it back?
You can get rid of the tattoos, but as long as they're on there, you cannot change your arm. It is exactly so. I imagine your arm is very slightly disproportionate to the rest of your body too. Then, because you make yourself a tad taller usually, don't you, or something like that?
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
Yeah,
taller
it's just
than
slightly disproportionate. You just can't change it back without getting rid of the tattoos. You can't do anything with it.
I can't add more lines to it.
You can add more lines if you wanted.
I'm gonna add the second group.
Okay, so you start kind of spiraling around your arm, creating a second group, and as you do so, your entire arm up to your shoulder, into part of your chest, and down your side a bit also turns back to your white, your natural white.
I look at the group and go, "This is mad funky."
I don't think we should be playing with that.
One more group. I look at Bess, like obviously asking if she's okay with me fucking with it a wee bit more.
If you go down, I'm not helping you.
It's not causing me any pain. Which is what I'm
Okay.
curious about.
It never causes you pain until you do.
The second it causes me pain, I'm erasing anything on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
I will look at the book, and the next group.
Okay, so then you're adding the next group. As you add the next group, you continue kind of spiraling it around your arm to keep it there and just keep it all neat and orderly. First, your face turns back to normal, and your entire body, you can feel it like it's your face, your entire torso, your arms, and it goes down to your waist, and it's starting to crawl down your legs. And then where the tattoos are, begins sizzling like somebody just spilled hot coffee on it. You take 3 damage, and immediately, nope, and you go back to normal. And as soon as you nope the tattoos away, you return to the whatever form you were before you started putting them on you.
Interesting.
Very.
Bess, make either an insight or an arcana check. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll go with that. Insight or arcana.
My hair's still wet from
14.
the shower I took, and then my back of the shirt is wet, and it sucks.
My hair's already dried from the shower I took.
Yeah, well, you don't have 8-foot long hair like ya boy.
Is that how long your hair is?
No, not at all. That'd be cool though.
You had to guesstimate. Let's let Holden do his thing before we keep.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so with a 14, from now on, when you guys start, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna be that like teacher waiting for everyone to shut up.
Honestly, that works better than anything else you've
It does, because if I try to tell you to shut up, you just like sass back. Now I'm doing it. Okay, with a 14, Bess, because you've used a couple spells to try to understand this, and you had that brief moment of clarity from Mistra, and you don't quite understand. Watching Doran do this, something clicks all of a sudden. Typically, you kind of, like I said, you understand a lot of the individual pieces on there because you are a learned individual in this respect. But, like, putting them together is like, what the fuck is going on? There are a lot of references to words synonymous with knowledge, wisdom, known, and you know, that's not
Other words.
other words synonymous with knowledge. And you typically, you know, that didn't really strike you as anything in particular, because I mean, this is a powerful arcane scroll. You'd expect to see things about, like, no, you know, there's probably something crazy about this, but then you realize it actually appears quite a bit. Perhaps there's something to be said about some aspect of knowledge or truth or revelation, something about the scroll and revealing Doran's true form. There's something about it. There's some connection there. He just accidentally showed you something about, or maybe perhaps not accidentally, but showed you something about the scroll. There's a connection there. And I'll let you draw whatever you would like from that. But that thought kind of comes into your head as you're watching this occur.
Hi, Bean.
Hi.
Yeah, I know. Dad's not petting you.
Clara, I hear you talking in real life, not in you're muted.
Mobby.
You're good.
Thank you.
You were saying.
Bess would not say anything out loud,
Okay. So,
but she's gonna think pensively and see about taking the scroll back.
Do you ask?
Yeah.
Second you ask, I give it back.
okay. You take it back. I presume you roll it up, put it back in a safe spot. With that, you have your scroll, you have each other, and you have a lot of lives to save. What are you going to do?
Oh, sorry, cat.
Cat is important. Cat is important. This is okay.
Hi, Jay, baby. Hi, baby Bean.
What a baby.
Before I give it back, I would so I got what, 4 groups?
You got 3.
3. I would put those same 3 on my body, but keep them separated from each other. so that there weren't line 1, 2, 3, like all the lines.
But you're putting the same information?
Yes, but I'm keeping it as far away from each other as possible.
The same thing would happen.
Okay, the second that happens, I get rid of it and go.
Yep.
Interesting.
But since you're cautious of it, you're aware of it before you take damage. Okay, that's happening again.
Basically,
what the fuck?
once the first group goes on, I notice my skin changes. I'd go, well, that idea didn't work. So are we off to see the man with the name of a tree?
Wilson. No. Willow. Yeah. Let's go that to that guy.
All right.
Okay. So you
Alistair,
guys
you take the lead.
Sure thing. Oh, funny. Okay. Could you all let's see. So you're headed. Let me just bring us back over here.
The map.
Yep. You're headed from about Cha to over Cha. So let me just look at something quick. Is this gonna? Okay. Actually, I don't need you to roll any d6s because based on that, I know what's gonna happen. As you guys begin walking, Alistair, do you in fact take lead? Isaac?
God damn it, I was fucking muted. I'm eating trail mix and I don't want to crunch into the microphone, so... I would try to stay back a bit. I'd like to talk to Doran about something if there's time.
Okay. Would you want to go to Secrets or?
No, it's completely not secretive.
It's okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then, as Six and Best start kind of taking the lead, bringing you guys back to Old Rangers headquarters, you trail back with Doran just a little bit.
What's the weather?
If you want weather, let's find out.
Weather report.
As you exit the tavern, as you can see here, as you exit out the tavern today, there will be, in fact, a moderate amount of rain.
No sun?
No sun in the sky at all. It's going to be a rather dreary day, folks. So get out your umbrellas and get ready for a gray day today.
Yep, never mind.
All right.
Tell me what the interstate looks like at this time of day.
In Seattle?
No, I thought you were doing a weather report. It's part of it. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm giving you traffic, Seattle, absolutely fucked. Just don't even get in your car. In fact, sell your car. Sorry, go on. So you're not gonna be speaking with Doran? No. Okay. So as it begins raining, you guys make your way over to the old Cloaked Rangers headquarters, now the Appreciation forward base. Actually, just as you're kind of leaving the confines of the main gate. So about half an hour into your journey, and I'd say an hour into your journey, as you can see the path up ahead, that the first path that leads east out of Direwood, you notice a large figure, clad in dark, beefy armor, making his way east. He's maybe several hundred feet ahead of you when you first spot him.
As we get closer, is there anything we can tell about him visually?
You want to just keep going, get closer?
I don't see a reason not to. Anybody?
Do we approach this guy or do we take it cautiously? Because at this point, I kind of want to say fuck it and approach him.
I go, yeah. Do we want him to know we're coming?
He doesn't have to. I mean, if we walk up quietly, we can again potentially judge something about him. If he has insignia or something like that.
As we start walking, I've spent a decent amount of time in Direwood, right?
Fair amount.
Yes.
By now.
Thanks, Jason.
Uh-huh.
We've traveled on these roads. What do the normal people who travel these roads look like?
Not particularly like this. You don't see a lot of people just out and about in Direwood anymore. Usually when you do, it might be, it used to be some civilians moving around Cloaked Rangers protected areas before shit hit the fan. That doesn't happen anymore. Sometimes, maybe would-be adventurers. So, seeing armor and weapons isn't out of place. Sometimes people traveling from priests, perhaps. But it's you don't see people just kind of out and about on the roads alone anymore around here.
But is there a normal look that some would have?
I mean, sort of. Most people would be wearing some form of armor and probably have weaponry on them. So, like,
Well,
seeing what you can see, he has like this massive greatsword on his back. And this dude's like 7 feet tall.
I will start walking faster than the group and disguise and modify my appearance to look very similar to the normal adventurers who travel through the roads.
And you're just gonna generic adventurer A yourself.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And kind of slow, like pick up and kind of go in a deeper, much deeper voice than Doran's. Hi. Do you mind if I travel with you?
As you get closer and you call out to him, he looks over. It's Adric.
Oh, it's Azure.
It's Adric. And he looks over. I travel alone, thanks.
I immediately turn back into Doran.
Oh. Actually, I'm glad I ran into you. As the rest of the group catches up.
I'm like, I was hoping to have some fun here.
With me?
I didn't know it was you.
He kind of looks back at his like beefy sword on his back. I mean, I guess. But anyway.
Wasn't gonna kill you, but
Again, I still am not sure you could. We've been over this.
I mean, I just said I wasn't gonna even try. I was just gonna spook you.
I'm hard to spook. Regardless.
Didn't know it was you.
Blah, 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 blah. Listen. Which one you? He points to Alistair. You're Alistair, right?
All day, even when it rains,
Yeah,
which it currently is.
I'm making my way over to Priest right now. However, on my way out of the church, I made one last stop at the New Republic. Just to some for the road. He kind of pats like a little side patch satchel, and you can hear like clinking of glass. Some for the road.
Yeah. How is it? Is it war torn? Is it scary?
It's hectic down there.
Good.
I don't know what's going on, but the barkeep, the regular one, he didn't serve me my drinks. I ran into this furry fella with a really strange accent.
That'd be Dorothy.
That sounds about right. Yeah, he said to mention his name to you, and he points to 6. He wanted to warn you that he didn't know what was going on, but he knew he had to get out of here, and something was happening with the queen, and they took your father, pointing back to Alistair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, or was it your father, pointing back to 6? Somebody's father's been taken, and somebody's brother is going into hiding.
Yep, Durathil. That's my brother.
Okay. Yeah. You say that's my brother, and he gives you a strange look.
He's
Right.
shaved, and I point at.
He just that actually. Right. Well, the only other thing he wanted to mention, he thought you might want to know, you pointing to Alistair, that your father was being taken underground. I don't know where, frankly. I don't know if he knows
tunnels.
where. Sure, tunnels. I don't know. He said underground. And he said, good luck. So I presume you're all in a lot of trouble, and I should be rather thankful I'm getting out of here now.
Oh, the queen's been hunting us for a while now.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Anybody who sticks their noses out around here gets hunted by somebody or another.
So we can tell him that you're on our side and that you're willing to fight for the cause. Thank you for your help.
No, I'm gonna go
give a very joking smile.
Yeah, he looks at your joking smile. Tell you what, you pay me more than this bar over in Priest is gonna pay me? Sure. And he points at you, Alistair, with like this big meaty hand. They better pay me what you said they would.
Hey,
I don't like traveling.
I'm good on my word.
Very well. Good luck with whatever the hell is going on here. Not my business anymore. Goodbye. He turns around and starts making his way down the path to Priest again.
Goodbye.
He just gives that without looking wave over his shoulder.
God, he's cool.
And with that, I presume, unless you guys wanted to talk about that, you make your way back to the old
Did
cloaked...
Doran say that out loud?
Yeah.
I look at him and go, I kind of hired him because I was intimidated by him.
Oh, and I turn into him.
I know you. And
Yes, but if you're intimidated by him and you intimidate a lot of people, I think we have a better chance of walking through this city.
I think you should try to be a copy of me because I'm the most intimidating out of all of us. If
What-
we're being
the
honest,
most
here,
stilts.
Dora.
What race is Edric?
Adric appeared human.
Human? I give him Bess's hair as I walk.
He-Man.
So you are a nearly 7 foot tall man in illusory but still very real looking black heavy armor with a massive illusory sword on your back, and cute flowy blonde hair.
He's Finn from Adventure Time.
Bess, what's your favorite color?
Green.
I tint the armor a little bit green.
I love it.
Are you going to be sticking with
I
this
had
look for a bit?
Yes.
All right.
I had to restrain myself from saying pink.
Right then. With pseudo Adric in tow, you guys continue your way over to the Preachin forward base. Eventually making your way there, the guards up front, who recognize you by now, immediately let you inside. Are you looking for Willows right away?
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
look-
much.
I'm looking
he's in
around
charge.
very confused. Like, I've never been here in my life.
Okay. Regardless, you're let in because you're with the rest of the group that Willows has given permission to come and go as they please. As you guys make your way in, you ask where Willows is. You make your way inside the old Cloaked Rangers headquarters and eventually find him within the mess hall, having a bit of lunch with a few of his troops. So, yeah, when he sees you, he looks over. Welcome back. Who is this fine specimen?
Is this the one who's gonna sleep with me?
Are you like imitating his voice too, Adric's voice?
Slightly. Slightly.
You're just making your voice a bit deeper?
Yeah.
I believe there's been a misunderstanding.
I turn back on the door and give him a little grin.
Right. I should have remembered. Am I to
Probably
expect
should.
more tricks like this every time you come in?
No.
Every time.
This is just
Slowly nodding his head in the background.
As Doris
Every
defending himself,
time.
everybody's like, uh-huh.
I seeing this. I go, okay, most of the time, yes. However, this one was specific. Would that be, as a person who has been around, is that more intimidating than how I normally look?
Yes.
Okay, so walking around like that should help guarantee a little bit more safety for the group.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, you were bigger than me, so I puckered a little bit when you said that, made that comment about sleeping with me. Wasn't ready for that. He sees Beth laugh, and you see, he relaxes a little bit, seems satisfied with that. Now, you mentioned the Queen. She threatened me directly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How?
Name.
Why? By name. I'm barely aware of her, other than what you've told me, of course.
She is aware of you.
Right, but clearly. But what does she have against me?
Get to us.
Me?
Best specifically, yes.
I see. He gets a bit more serious, leans over a little bit. So she's playing dirty.
She's already kidnapped Alistair's father.
And how are we getting him back?
Right now, if we make any moves, she's just gonna kill him. So,
We don't know where he is, where he's being held,
Well,
whether he's being guarded. We have no idea at this point.
what does she want? Well, clearly, if she's holding hostages, there's something she wants from you. Does she just want you dead?
we meet privately on that one.
He looks to the troops around him, who are all kind of like giving quizzical looks, like one eyebrow raised, like, what the fuck is going on with this? He gives them a nod. They all seem to understand. He stands up. Let's go to the commander's old office then.
What's on his plate?
He had just some bread, but it looked like some
Man, there's like a bunch of people relying on him to like get farms going.
It looked like he had some bread, but very nice bread. It was like herbed and had some butter
I'm
spread
sorry,
across it.
My internet just kind of hiccuped, or I don't know, it didn't crash, but it kind of acted like it crashed, so I've been out for like the last minute, so...
Oh,
bad.
weird. Okay. I mean, you sound fine. It was
We're
probably
having
just a
a
hiccup.
convo here.
Yeah, you just met up with Willows, and he...
Yeah, we got to the point where we were all making fun of Doran for doing tricks every
Yep.
time, and then it went...
You guys have decided to meet with him more privately about what the Queen wants. But yeah, he has like some basic but well prepared food.
I take a huge piece of bread as we walk away.
He seems to pay no mind to this. He's all right.
I wasn't trying to hide it either.
Yeah. He's like cool. So you take some bread and it's really good. It's got some herbs in there. It's got a little buttery spread of some sort. This is very nice.
Would you compare it to King's Roll's Hawaiian bread?
Oh my god, I fucking love those.
It's not sweet like the Hawaiian bread. It's a bit more herbal.
Is it like Italian herbs and cheese bread from Subway?
Take the cheese out, put some butter on it. Yeah.
Nice. I do not share.
Cheese is optional though. They have cheese. So you guys make your way over to Light's old office. So
All
with
of
that,
the cameras just froze for me.
Can you see me? Can you see me, Jason?
I can see you, but you're frozen.
Oh.
Reconnect.
Right.
Keep going. Sorry.
I turned
I'll
my
catch up.
camera off. Sorry.
that's all right. You're fine.
I
Oh,
think
no,
it
it's
might be
fine.
going too big of a load on.
Weird. Sorry. Excuse me one moment. I gotta clear my throat. Sorry, I
Jesus
just had to make
Christ,
some gross
hold on.
noises. So
That was gross.
I just had to clear my throat. You guys make your way to Light's old office. He opens the door for you very politely, lets you all step in, then he steps in himself, makes his way over to Commander Light's old chair unless anybody else steals it first for some reason.
I look at it and I pull it out for him and give him a little wink.
He gives like a playful little bow. Thank you, sir, and then sits down. Sits down now. Tell me everything.
First, we don't know what... We know what she wants, like the item specifically. We have no fucking clue what it does. In fact, if I put any of the... It's a magic scroll. Start with
Okay.
That we got from a magic hidden library.
He kind of closes his eyes, shakes his head. Whoa. A magic scroll that you don't understand. And she wants it. And you got it from an underground, or you said hidden library.
Magic.
A magic library. Where's this magic library?
It's hidden.
Underground and hidden.
Underground. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I kind of
Old
ruined that one a
Thieves
bit.
Guild.
Old Thieves Guild.
Not thieves, magic guild.
Oh,
Mage Guild.
Mage guild.
understood. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of secrets in this place. Not really my business, but okay. Regardless, you have the scroll, and you have no idea what it does. But she wants
No,
it.
but if I put the words on my body, it changes me back to normal.
Well, I'm sure that you can. Well, as a follower of Mystra, I was able to reach out to her and ask her for some guidance on this scroll, and what I could glean from it. Looking at the scroll will make your brain hurt. It is nearly incomprehensible. It contains absolutely unfathomable power. I was warned not to let it get into the wrong hands, and told pretty specifically that the Queen's hands are the wrong hands for this scroll to fall into.
Understood. Right. So what do you plan to do? First, actually, what does the Queen plan on doing?
Boy, I wish we knew.
Well, what do you
I mean,
think?
she's already taken your father hostage.
She wants the scroll from you. She's taken hostages. What's her next move? What would you do in her shoes?
She's crazy. I don't know.
Honestly, what's next is you and the commander being threatened, and basically keep upping her gambling tokens until we relent.
Well, here's the thing. With all due respect, I'm not too concerned. I'm surrounded by some of the finest soldiers I've ever had the pleasure of serving with. I highly doubt she could touch me in here.
Do you have anyone you care about?
Of course. Not here, though.
I don't know if that's a deal breaker for her.
Very well. Regardless, I know what I've signed up for. I'm not concerned. I feel fine. Don't worry too much about me. But what I'm confused about...
She is an expert at scrying, so
Is she scrying on us right now, then?
No.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, she can't, remember? We have the amulet.
But that didn't
What did
stop
the
her
queen
from knowing
say?
information.
Didn't the queen say something about the amulet when we met up with her, Holden?
No, she said she doesn't need the amulet to spy on us. She has people.
Okay.
She can't magically see us, but she can see us if she wants to.
Well, it's just us in here right now. So if you're magically protected, I doubt she'll hear a single word in here. Unless one of you is the queen, he says, pointing at everybody.
I turn into the queen.
Ah, I knew it.
And go, blast, you have me.
Ah, right.
By the way,
So-
this is what she looks like.
He stares you down for a minute, kind of gives you up and down. Noted. It looks rather innocent for somebody so apparently ruthless and terrible.
I thought.
Hmm.
Beside the point, we have a few. Our next plan is we can't read the scroll. Do you think that there is someone that you trust in Priest who is magically capable of reading such an item?
I had one. We had one very powerful mage who had plenty of apprentices. Perhaps they could help you, but he himself passed away recently. I heard alongside you guys, or at least some of you. He looks at 6.
Interesting how past
Who was
decisions
he?
have come to haunt us.
Which are we talking about? Zimmer?
No. Over in Priest, when you helped lift the city, one of
Yes.
the only mages I could imagine would be able to, for sure, figure out a scroll that nobody else could. It would be him, and he's long gone. Otherwise, some of his apprentices might be able to help. They're well on their way to his esteem. The only other lead I'd have for you is Waylon, but this kind of magic, well, I guess I don't know what kind of magic it is, but scrolls and stuff like this isn't exactly his forte, to my understanding.
Would you want to take a look at it?
He cocks his head. I've only dabbled, but sure, I'll take a look. You give him the scroll?
Yeah.
Okay. He takes it. He looks at it. You see him squint. He's looking at it. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I don't... He's really squinting. There's one symbol I recognize here. That appears a lot. The rest of it's just... You might as well be putting poetry in front of me. I don't know how to interpret this. Truth.
Red. Violets are blue.
This is the elven.
We can't read this, and neither can you.
Correct. Well done.
That's applause.
This is the elven. This is elven for truth, and it appears at least a dozen times. But the rest of it is just.
I speak Elven.
What do you say?
Do I recognize that? I speak Elven.
If you ask, yeah, he'd turn around, show it to you, and you would recognize the elven rune, the elven word for truth, about a dozen times on there, just as he starts pointing them out.
He's right, I say, pointing to the rune.
Are there any other elven words you understand on the scroll here?
That's a really good question.
If you gave me some time, maybe. This isn't exactly. Well, actually, there's one more thing he might get. Oh, Jesus. Okay. He squints a bit more. Here toward the top. Power. Power something truth. You see here how he turns around, how it's on its own. Like like this, it almost seems to be a header, a title. And he shows you, and it appears. He turns it back around. Power something truth is the title. Other than that, no. The rest of it is
Garbledygook?
pretty much, yeah. He kind of rubs his eyes and hands it back. Yeah, you know what? That is quite a trip to look at. And he hands it back to you, Bess. That's all I can glean is power something truth, and in truth a bunch more.
Regardless, now you are on the same playing grounds we are of what she wants.
Right. Well, I think so. And he rubs the bridge of his nose a bit more. Sorry, that really took it out of me. Wow. I think I understand, but I don't. I don't. Why do you think you could take her in a fight directly?
She always has decently strong guards, and I'd say she wears armor that's... I'm not going to make a joke about it.
She actually, I mean, you didn't see any visible armor on her when she's wearing her blue robes, but
I was making...
I know.
I was gonna...
Her MO seems to involve letting her cohorts attack while she turns into a mist and disappears.
The problem is she has people waiting in the wings to kill.
right. My question, though, let me phrase it this way: if she were to attack you with whatever she had available to her, would you win? Would you come out on top?
As a group or individually?
He lifts both his hands. Like, no,
It's possible.
possible.
I believe that as a group, we would win. As individuals, we would lose one or two.
Interesting. My point being, if she could overpower you, why wouldn't she just take it from you? But perhaps if she
Six
can't.
said.
Because
There's
she's
something
worried
we
we're
don't
gonna
quite-
destroy the scroll.
Now,
It's possible.
again, this
Sorry, go ahead.
this isn't really my expertise at all, but aren't magical items rather difficult to destroy?
Yes, that's one of the problems.
So
Um,
I just don't understand. If she was in the room with you, and she's as sneaky and conniving as you say, and she had very powerful guards with her, and it was right there, why wouldn't she take it?
Oh, I had
That's
three.
something-
I had 3 ruins set up to explode at a moment's trigger. They're actually on my back right now, and I pull out my 3 seats.
He looks at
I'm
them.
not sure that's the only reason. That's something I've been contemplating since she walked out the door. Hopefully, I left her with the impression that we believe we are extraordinarily powerful, and she simply could not take it from us.
Well, that's what you
but-
led me to believe.
I'm a good actor.
It was a
Thor.
good performance.
So there's something that we're missing. I don't know. I honestly don't think the explosions would have outright killed her. I think she would have had plenty of opportunity to make some sort of magical counterattack, or at least turn into mist and fly away.
Especially seeing as she saw them the minute she walked in.
Mm-hmm. So there's something that we're missing.
Right, that's kind of what I was getting at. From the pieces you've given me, it sounds to me like she's the type who, when she wants something, she takes it. So, if it was right in front of her, why didn't she take it? I wish I could offer you more help, but that's the most I've got. As a strategist, it just doesn't make sense.
Ouch, I
Neither
want to
does she.
eat a hand of trail mix and I punched myself in the mouth. Today's not my day, man.
Well, if you really want to continue looking into the scroll, Priest might be a decent option. But the person I'd trust the most would be Waylon, probably. That old coot, his apprentices, not Waylon, the mage. I'm sure you all understand there's more going on than meets the eye beneath Priests. He gives you all kind of like a glare.
Well, yeah. Now that it's up in the air, there's probably a lot going on underneath it.
Right. Well, either way, if you insist on going to Priest, I would stick with Waylon. Otherwise, I wish I could point you to somebody closer by. I don't have anybody who's capable of understanding something that Bess can't understand, I presume. I know you. He points his finger. He kind of wags his finger. You were always buried in a book. You always had your nose in some book or other, and all Zimmer had to read was arcane scripture. So I can only imagine if there's anybody here who could figure it out, it would be you. So I'd suggest either studying it yourself, finding somebody here who can help that perhaps I'm unaware of, or going to Waylon. if that's what you want to pursue.
I look at Bess and go, "You told me you didn't know how to read."
I can't. I don't know how to read. I'm lying.
Awkward.
Straight up.
Were those
Forget
just
the words.
sighs?
Well, there is one person that you three, and I point, or you two, and I point to Bess and Six, that you guys seem to somewhat trust, who does magic stuff.
Somewhat.
It's me.
Is it? I trust Bess more than the other someone.
Yes, and the other someone requires us to deal with the church. You guys deal with the church again.
Oh, Malcolm?
Yeah, that one.
That would be the man. I turn toward him and I say, "What do you know of what's going on beneath priests?"
Usually he's been quite friendly with you guys, but you see, he shifts to a more serious tone, crosses his arms. Many things I'm not at liberty to say. Many things
Yeah.
I am not particularly fond of.
Understood.
Bess?
Warren looks very confused.
I was just going to be stupid. Please ignore me.
Okay.
Well, no chance you could fly us there, huh? Might cut a couple days off of the travel.
To priests, I do have the authority to request fast transportation. However, for it to arrive here and then bring you back would take probably just about as long as you just going there on foot.
I think
Otherwise, I have the chimeras, the flying beasts you saw come in, but they aren't really suited to hold more than a couple people. And I only have 3.
I think I'd like to take some time and study it to see if I can understand it better.
I think that's a fine first move. In the meantime,
the way that it was phrased to me when I asked for guidance from Mistra was that this is very powerful and important scroll, and it's important that it not get into the wrong hands.
The word cataclysmic was thrown around with reckless abandon.
Yeah, that was my fault. I kind of feel like, if the queen wants that bag, it's probably that bad.
well, we're not sure how much she wants it if she didn't just take it from you, unless there's more than we know, which there probably is. But regardless, Bess, I wouldn't trust anybody else in this room to figure this thing out. However, at the same time, you mentioned somebody's father. Alistair, your father, has been taken captive.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Nobody that we know at this moment, but
Very good.
You're being threatened, Light's being threatened, and we also know for a fact that they can get into his ranks without much issue. She can change her appearance very readily, much like I can. However, I don't think she's
Trust
one of
a
me.
person that can change their appearance at will. Sorry, Doran.
Oh, it's fair. I don't trust myself. I have a lot of inner dialogue that will cement that thought process. Regardless, she seems to have a natural and very high racism towards changelings, so I doubt she is one.
I don't know. She could be. If she can change her shape at will, how else could she do it? I mean, there are spells for that, aren't there?
Yes,
Did you see her? Have you ever seen her change?
I have not.
Oh, okay. It might be a spell then. Why would she hate?
Remind me to ask you something later.
Me?
Yes.
Right. I'll take that as my cue. Again, though, if there's anything I can do to help with your father, you're looking at Alistair saying this. I have resources, and if we can phrase it in such a way that my orders seem to be in the name of priests or in the name of the people of Direwood rather than in the name of Alistair's father, well, we have ourselves a plan.
oh, I wouldn't put, money on that. He's not a good man
Very
in
well.
the terms of publicity.
But
I've never seen anyone clean a mug as much as your dad.
He does that when he's bored, which is almost always there.
But here's the thing, and we know he's underground. We might need help if we're going under there. And the way we can phrase this, in the name of Direwood, of course, is if she doesn't have collateral damage that she can cause, we can take her out.
I mean, now that I'm here and I know the situation, getting rid of the Queen of Thieves sounds like a simple first step to resurrecting Direwood, doesn't it?
Yes.
So, if underground doesn't seem like the best option for my men, they would be they're trained for open warfare. They're trained for land-based combat, hills, stream, water, anything, air even, but underground is not something they're suited for. So we could, but I'm not sure I'd want to put their lives at risk. If there's some way we can help otherwise, please do let me know, because I am just interested in furthering my goals as colonel for the Pretian Empire, as I am interested in helping you. Now, I was actually in the middle of a conversation. I will be taking my leave now. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. And, he looks to all of you. Thank you for your trust.
Thank you for all your help, and stay safe, because,
I'll be sure to keep my guards close. Yeah, as he stands up and steps out of the room.
Too close, I say. She can change her appearance. All right. Doran,
that's my name.
might I ask you something?
You might.
You just mentioned the Queen's possible racism toward your kind, which reminded me of a moment back in the bar where you asked if she did not like light because he was a changeling. Is there something
Very separate from the group when that happened.
What's that?
I made sure the group was not near when I said that. I recall very specifically waiting for
I remember that too.
everyone else
Okay.
leaving the room before that question came out.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true, sorry. Unless
Alright.
Doran would have shared.
Dorn would
No worries.
not have shared that
Okay.
information.
All right.
You should we send a message to Wayland and lay out our problem?
Well, I have an idea.
Okay.
We found that book in the Mages Guild, correct?
Yes.
The scroll.
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 What are the chances that Malcolm knows what it is?
Probably decent.
Yeah. Probably decent.
Do we want to
Yes.
try that avenue first?
He might have more information that, if nothing else, we could then pass on to Wayland, if that is the direction we go in toward the end, but I do not think asking is detrimental.
So we send a message to him and ask if he can meet us somewhere privately on the church compound.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell him to meet us in the secret crypt.
Let's not do that, because we're not supposed to know that exists, remember?
It's very secret.
Let's ask if there's a private place on the church premise that we could meet him where he is comfortable, but we need privacy.
Probably a better idea.
We also
Oh,
have to keep
oh,
in mind the
Shut up.
never mind.
Yes.
I'm gonna
we-
write up a message to Malcolm now.
Okay. Are you going to write it up, or do you just want to go for it?
I'm gonna write it up.
Okay. While Bess is thinking of a message for Malcolm, is there anything else you guys wanted to do?
I got it. It's right there.
Can you destroy potentially cataclysmic magical scroll or not?
Well, shall we start that direction?
Well, I want to know that we're going there first before we start walking. Okay. So we have that. I think we could also attempt to reach out to Durathil, see how much he knows of the undergrounds.
I would like to make sure he's safe as well.
Yes.
So, okay.
So
What do we
those are-
want to ask him? I'll start crafting a message to him that can then be sent. What specifically are we looking for?
We want to know if he can help us, if he knows of any place underground that the Queen might use to store someone. We could also ask that one guy at the Cloaked Ranges, the pedophile.
Oh, right. Pettifer would be a decent resource on this as well. Good thinking, Dawn. Let me look at the... Is the New Republic entrance that we are aware of... Oh, we could... Do we sneak in through the tunnels?
Well, if we're going underground, yes. But first, I want to know
Okay.
our plans before we. Right now, I think
Okay.
we have to figure out if we're going on a rescue mission, followed by an assassination, or if our goals are going to be if Malcolm says the scroll is something that should be gotten rid of, destroyed. If he thinks there's a way how to, if he knows exactly what it is, we worry about. We then go on a rescue mission followed by destroying the scroll mission, followed by assassination. Basically, right now our three goals, in my mind, are save
That left over.
Alistair's father. Right? That is a decently primary goal we have.
Correct. I think we can all agree on that.
Then we want to get rid of or figure out what the scroll is.
Correct. Perhaps both.
Yes, and then we want to get rid of or remove the queen.
So Bess is using sending right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alistair would like to study that and kind of get up, not close to her, but like kind of just take notes.
Yeah, make an Arcana check. I'll even give you advantage because this is something you've been looking into before. You've been studying with her a bit.
And you've seen me do it a lot.
Yeah, I'll give
I
you
know
advantage
that's
on
what
it.
he wants to learn is because he feels bad for making you do it so much.
Thank you, because I keep running out of spell slots because I have to do this so often.
Yeah.
22. Honestly, you think you could give it a try?
And I?
You could give it a try.
I'm going to. I'm going to try. And I'm going to target my dad.
Okay. What do you need to say to him?
Hey, it's Alistair. Are you still alive?
You hear back.
We're hoping... Sorry, I had to think for a second. We're coming up with a game plan. Hoping to save you.
Okay.
Love you.
Bess, you watch Alistair try to cast a spell, and you see him do it mostly right. You have a couple of pointers for him as for the specific gestures, but you see him concentrate, and Alistair, there's a minute, like a full minute, where you're like, oh, did it not work? And then you hear, Stare? Is that you? Yes. Plan... Please.
That was really good. I'm impressed. And noted.
Mm-hmm.
Alistair kind of has this visible look of like, hey, I did it.
Yeah, and that's also confirmation he is in fact alive.
Good. Well, okay, so father's still alive. I can cast sending. It's a bit staticky and crackly. He is in fact underground, and I can do sending now. Neat.
Well, at least partially, you're gonna.
Yeah, I can do send.
I can do sending.
I can
Until-
either
yeah.
do send or ing. I cannot do both.
I cast Ing.
I love Ing. It's my favorite character from that one show.
Bess, did you have a message prepared for Malcolm?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We need help to understand an arcane item. Must discuss privately. Can we meet you on church grounds tomorrow?
After just a moment, you get a response. I suppose I could attempt to help. Yeah, meet me here, tomorrow, by the pond.
Coolio. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, and 6, you had a message prepared for
Indeed, I have posted it.
who was it?
For
Durathil.
Durathil.
Are you going to ask Alistair or Bess to try? Because Bess, after you both cast your sending spells and you watched Alistair do so, you have a couple of pointers from on how to more accurately depict the symbols of the spell. And Alistair, you feel a little confident. You can give it another go. But 6, who do you want to send it?
I mean, there would be no offense involved, but I would immediately go to Bess simply because I'm slightly closer to Bess.
Alistair, mega respect. It's all good.
I would want to see Alistair try it and help him out as he does it.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Alistair, would you roll one more Arcana check with advantage because Bess is helping you?
Yes, sir.
I'm
Think so.
doing a big help.
23, even better. Okay.
Even better by 1.
So Bess approaches, and Alistair, your 6 kind of hands you a little scrawled message, and you're okay. And you start to concentrate. You start to wave your hand in the arcane motion, and Bess just no, literally grabs your wrist and helps you to see the flow of the message to create the proper symbols, and she guides you, and you send. D, are you safe? Do you need help? Any idea where the queen would keep a prisoner or where she's hanging out? Kill her time. And Alistair, in your head, you hear after a moment, I do not recognize this voice, but
Fuck.
I'm okay. A prisoner, probably underground. Don't know more than that, sorry. I'm out of here. I'll be nearby.
I
Well,
would relay that.
You probably should have
Thank
told
you.
him who this was.
I think
should have.
6 was thinking that he would have recognized Bess's voice, so that's my bad.
No, I just didn't think about it.
You
so,
take it
no
from the
worries.
fact that he actually responded that by calling him D, as you imagine, perhaps there's only one person that's ever called him D. He kind of got the idea.
Okay, good.
You can surmise by him actually responding that, like, he probably figured.
Okay.
And Alistair, you can now cast the spell.
No.
Because you have been working on that.
Nice, man. Very nice. Okay. Sorry, I'm chewing loudly.
It's all right. So,
It's actually hot.
message is
Jason,
sent.
do you have JST?
Is that the TMJ type stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat. So do I.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just wondering. Sorry, that was completely out of the blue. Sorry, that was my bad.
So,
I don't notice it anymore.
you've sent your messages. You have a meeting with Malcolm tomorrow near the pond at the church sometime. Let's see, by now, you traveled just a few hours. You've been here just a little bit. It's probably starting to get just a little dark. You still have a couple hours left in the day before, it's actually dark. And you need to think about finding a place to stay. Is there anything else you guys want to do, or should we fast forward? You rest at the Cloaked Rangers' old headquarters, or?
But I think we should rest.
I want to study the scroll more before bed.
You absolutely have time.
Would my spelling and spells book studying that help to understand what's going on with this?
You think they're probably unrelated.
Okay.
Would anybody else be interested in assisting her with that, or is this the best thing?
I will be working on commune.
Okay, yes, you will.
Not that I know what I'm doing, but I would attempt to be useful, helpful.
I hope that you make it worse.
Well, 6, you know Elven, right?
I may. I have been.
Best, do you know Elven?
Doubt it.
Doubt it. Okay, then
Oh
6
yeah,
could.
I speak Goblin and Rat in common.
Okay, then 6 could actually be of some help here. So you and
All
6 will sit down with the scroll, and he'll try to translate some things he might recognize. Doran's going to spend the night working on commune. If you spend the rest of the night until you go to sleep, Doran, I will allow you 2 questions, and then you think perhaps one more night of this would get you up to 3 to
I
the
will
standard
spend the
spell.
rest of my night focusing.
You focus on
my
commune.
question.
Very good. Alistair, anything?
I was just kind of making it a point to stay away from the scroll because it makes his head hurty and he don't like that.
Yep.
But seeing 6 help and knowing that Elvish helps and Alistair's absolute plethora of language he knows.
6.
Did I say? What did I say?
Nothing. I'm just saying.
Oh.
6.
I'd take a peek at it.
Okay. So the 3 of you poring over this scroll tonight. Bess, I'm going to have you roll an Arcana check at advantage +2 using Blake's rules.
What?
So you're rolling an Arcana check with advantage, and in whatever the higher number is, you're also adding a +2 on top of that. So just roll an Arcana.
I do like them rules.
So 14 +2, 16. Okay. You guys spend a good portion of the night. You sit down, and Bess, you start
fast.
to... Yeah.
I know a couple of other languages that I'm thinking maybe could help. I'm going to just throw them out there. Where are those listed?
Your languages?
Yes.
They should be under background.
Under background?
Yeah, with... Let me see here.
Got it.
I also
Got it.
speak
Yep.
Elvish.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other-
took
actually, that is
I took
important.
A feat that gives me languages. So.
Linguist.
I speak Undercommon and I speak Infernal.
Excuse me, fuck. You know when you take a breath in too sharply and you just... Yeah. I just killed
No.
myself.
I don't have
Do you
any.
need another allergy pill?
No, I mean, allergies have been kicking my ass today, but no, I'm fine. That was just a dumb human moment where, for some
don't-
reason, if you breathe in too sharply, you swallow a bit of spit and
I
then you're
don't
dying.
breathe.
I understand those moments.
I am human. Ha 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 ha. Alistair,
Human
this does
thing.
matter. What languages do you know? List them off, buddy.
Common,
Show 'em off.
Dwarvish, Elvish, Gnomish, Quarry, Halfling, Draconic.
Okay. That actually matters. So poring over the scroll tonight, Bess, you start to try to dismantle some of these arcane equations and try to figure out the meaning of some of these clumps of information. And every now and then you're asking 6, and what does this mean? And what does that mean? And he sometimes is able to help. Sometimes he's like, I've never seen that in my life. I have no idea. And 6, you know, there are older renditions of Elven, perhaps. Though it's older, you don't know. And so he's able to help some. Alistair, actually, there are a couple of times where he goes, oh, that's Draconic for blank. And you both go, what? He's like, yeah, that's Draconic. and the 3 of you together, you two are just kind of acting as translators and kind of like looking it over, trying to piece together with her. This isn't really your thing as much, especially 6. But you're fairly helpful in the translation and such. And Bess, what you gain from that role and from them knowing
Well,
those
I'm gonna know.
languages. First off, with just the 3 of you, if you keep up this pace, you might start having a better understanding of the scroll within a few weeks. Otherwise, for tonight, what you can gather, I will actually give you. Let me ask you this. Actually, I will give you the option. What do you want to learn about? Like, or do you want to try to better understand the level of the spell, the classes that can cast it, the components, like the brief idea of what it is, perhaps dangers of what it could do or what it is, or description? Like, what are you looking for? What are you trying to puzzle together? Or even just the name.
I guess I'd be looking for the name of the spell and
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
also for. Yeah, let's just stick with that for now.
Okay.
Yeah, Alistair only wants the name because any more information that could be scryed upon by the queen is terrible.
Okay. Well, by going for the name, you'll learn a couple of other things. Because, with this night and with the help you have, that's about all you're gonna get. Because, like I said, to start to really understand this, it's gonna take weeks. But Bess, by pouring through some of the other elements you're familiar with from other books, from other spells you've heard of, you start to piece together. This is a completely unique spell. You have never heard of it because the name is Power Word Truth.
Power word truth.
Yep, and you're able to piece that together because you've heard of Power Word Kill and Power Word Stun, and so by taking some of the elements of those spells that seem to be in other clumps of information, you start to piece it together and understand that this is a very unique spell, probably handcrafted by some genius or multiple geniuses of the Mage's Guild. You have no idea how this could be done, but it is unlike anything you've ever seen, and you're pretty sure it's called Power Word Truth.
Is this handwritten?
Yes.
Do I recognize the handwriting?
Actually, between the three of you, I'll give you this too. There seem to be at least 4 or 5 different handwritings, or I don't know what you would, 4 or 5 different people who had contributed to this. Multiple authors, yeah. Handwritings, would that be proper? It doesn't sound right. But yeah, there are different.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Transcripts?
Handbooks.
Yeah.
Multiple-
There seem to be 4 or 5 authors to this.
Scrabblings.
Okay. Do
Do any of those look familiar? Given my background and my backstory?
I wish you hadn't asked that because actually, yes. You would be familiar with Zimmer's handwriting,
Okay.
and it is on here.
surprising.
And actually, the thing is, because you specifically know Zimmer's handwriting, the rest you don't recognize, but because you specifically recognize his, now you can start to piece together. It's not just like this chunk was written by this person, this chunk was written by this person. Like, any given word or letter could have been written. Like, there's one letter or one elven word over here by Zimmer, and then a full sentence over here by him, and then several runes over here. Like, it's like every author was working perfectly in tandem. But his handwriting is on here.
How
I wonder which
surprised do you
handwriting
think Malcolm
belongs-
is gonna be?
When he recognizes his own handwriting,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's...
Hmm.
Doran isn't there, never mind.
That's that's an interesting note. Well, it leads me to a couple of other questions. If we think about the concept of power word spells and what they do, this sounds like a very powerful truth serum, if you will, potentially.
Well, then,
Which
What? I'm not familiar with power word spells.
Power word
Would Bess
spells.
be at all?
Yes, Bess would be. Power word spells are typically very powerful. They are spells such as like Power Word Kill, where if a creature has less than 100 health, you just point at it and it dies. Or Power Word Stun, which I don't know the exact description, but is also, it's like a 6th or 7th level spell where you can almost guarantee to stun someone entirely. Power word spells are above your pay grade right now, typically. I think actually Power Word Stun might be available to you guys at your level. Maybe, no, maybe not. It might be just out of your reach. But like, just some of those components of these like Power Word spells.
I actually have Wizard's spell list up on my.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
I think Power Word Stun is the lowest level Power Word, right?
Power word stun.
Power
no,
word stun
pain.
is 8th level.
Power Word Pain?
Pain is 7th.
7th,
So
okay.
it's
So
just
Power Word
out of
spells
our
are
reach.
just the base components for some parts of the spell are out of your reach right now. So that gives you an idea of the magnitude of this spell. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a
do-
doozy.
We found this book in the secret library that used to be from the Mage's Guild. Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
At what point was this library or the Mage's Guild as we know it abandoned or left?
You would
Did it
know.
call-
Actually, you guys looked into that a bit. When the explosion about just over 15 years ago, almost 16 years now, actually, is about when this happened.
Why would the queen want
Okay.
that?
I can see the gears turning in Clara's head, and it scares me.
It kind of leads me to the question of what specifically Mistra was trying to warn us about. Was she attempting to warn us of the spell itself, or what truth could bring? And what specific
Well,
truth?
Sometimes truth can be referred to as enlightenment, which leads me to
Mhm.
think towards a religious space. We found this within the secret hidden library of the Mages Guild, and I recognized the handwriting of Zimmer, who was involved with the explosion. I wonder if this scroll has something to do with the explosion that happened here in Direwood. I wonder if this is what caused it, and maybe
Good
brought
thought.
about the rock, the Church of the Rock.
Spooky.
Anybody? No.
No, I think that's a good thought.
Because if it could bring about something as bad as what happened here, I mean,
Perhaps it's not fully baked. Maybe they tried to use it and it blew up. Maybe it's not safe for anyone to read.
Well, then, am I here during this, or would I not even be
I would
near?
I would say you could peek your head in every now and then. You can interject when you'd like.
If this is what caused the explosion, how did it get back into the library?
Somebody that survived, Zimmer, Malcolm, perhaps placed it there out of safety.
maybe they were working on multiple copies.
I just posed a question.
That's a good question.
All right, bye. All right, head back to.
You're literally just going up to pee real quick, and you're like, "Oh wait, no, hold on," and then you go back.
I will
Did you
continue to work
want
on
to
what I'm doing.
use your 2 questions for commune tonight, or are you just gonna work
Yeah.
on it? Okay. We'll get to that
He's
before we do our
drinking
long rest.
blue.
He's drinking blue.
This stream is not sponsored by Gatorade, but if they could give Holden money, that'd be good.
Is that the stuff in the bottom of a porta potty? Oh, now they're not going to sponsor anybody.
I'm sorry, Holden. I tried for you. But
I actually
this is
would
really-
not. I wouldn't mind that, dude. I don't drink Gatorade a lot, but like if I had a steady stream coming, I would. I'm a
You
fan of
wouldn't
blue
mind the stuff at
Gatorade.
the bottom of the
Dude,
potty or the
I watched someone who's sponsored by Game Fuel, and Mountain Dew straight up sent him a little mini fridge that sits behind him and is constantly filled with Gamer Fuel.
That's
Are
awesome.
you talking about Dyrus?
No, Yasuo.
Oh, Dyrus got one of those too. It's fucking epic.
Can you imagine? You have a little mini fridge that just says Gatorade. It's just filled with Gatorade.
That'd be so good.
Do you have your... What are you doing, Doran? You're studying?
Thorin is trying to cast a spell.
Okay.
You all, I believe, saw him cast a spell, sort of, just last night. Or just earlier today, was it? When you were investigating the scroll sum. Earlier, so I think it was earlier today, when you guys were alone from the Queen. You saw him sit down and prepare himself and really try to commune with the rock. And from what you gathered from him, he was kind of successful. And he's trying to, you would know that he's trying to perfect this. So, unless there's anything else you guys wanted to talk about this with the scroll, or any other thoughts you had, or anything else you want to accomplish, what you just learned, what I've just told you in the conversation you've had, it would be closing in on like 11 p.m. It took this much time just to get the name and some of those details.
I want someone to teach me Elvish.
I mean,
I start immediately.
you can start to learn bits and pieces, but mostly what you're going to learn are things that are never going to be used in conversation, like the elven word for truth
Or teaching you
like
how to conjugate.
the elven word that signifies the idea of the, like, you know, like it's gonna be some really
Teach me how to say fuck.
I would immediately.
Elves actually have 18 words for fuck.
13.
Jason, I want you to name 5 of them right now.
Well, there's fuck itself, and then there's fook. We've got fucku, fuckha, and fack.
And each one's like fuck-who is like really kinky sex, but fuckha is like loving sex, but fack is like an angry, like fack you. So there's, you know, they have all different kinds of. It's like it's
Right.
like fucking is it Latin or what's the there's or Greek? There's some old language that has like 18 words for everything. But yeah, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, yes.
I guess
yes.
a lot of them. I guess it depends on the culture. But yes, regardless, that is what you guys learned today. Bess, you pick up a couple of elven words, particularly the one for truth. Other than that,
And fuck.
I've
Doran, do you
learned how
wanna-
to poem
do
in
you-
Elven.
I'm sure you do. Doran, do you want to go to secrets for your commune or?
Nah.
Nah? Okay. I'm just kind of imagining, because I said you can interject whenever, you're just like 15 feet away from everybody in the same room, just kind of focusing on your own, and then every now and then you hear something, you're like, wait, but what about...
I'm probably in the last time I slept in the room over, like the opposite side, the one that's not Six's, the one that wasn't Sam's room. Well, this time, because this isn't even just Blake wanting to piss off Jesse, Doran likes to mix things up. He'd go to the other side, which
Yep.
would be Sam's
And
room.
you discover Sam's old room. Yep.
Because completely in character for Doran to do shit like that.
Yep. You find Sam's old room. Okay, so you are separate.
Is there anything in there that's fun?
No, it's been cleaned out.
Fuck me.
There's a bed, a bench, like a little wardrobe, and an armor rack. It's pretty cleaned out.
I would spend 20 minutes completely rearranging it.
So you do, and then you get to your work.
Yeah.
Eventually, you sit back down again and try to remember exactly what it was like yesterday or earlier when you kind of mostly cast the spell, and you sit down and you focus on your chest and try to envision, or in your mind's eye see your own breathing and feel your breathing, and you start to try to lose focus of the world around you. And eventually the sounds of people walking outside in the hall and of people training and of the dinner and everything else going on starts to fade from your mind's eye. And you are alone in this room, absolutely silent. But it feels like you're in a different place. You open your eyes for just a moment, but you can sense they're not your physical eyes. It is like you are in a different space, and you're looking at this room covered in beautiful hysterium gems jutting out from the wall, causing a swirling octarine glow of magic to swirl around you. And as it does so, it encompasses you, and you see this as a successful casting. You have 2 questions.
First question. Can we trust Malcolm with this scroll?
The swirling octarine energy around you starts to slow down its pace and lap down at your feet, and almost starts to it begins to act as if a wave, like a very calm wave. And from this calmness you glean, yes.
Second question. Can it be destroyed?
That wave starts to pick up the pace and grow larger and more rapid, and it starts to swirl around you, and some of the chunks of hysterium start to fall off the wall and shatter on the ground like glass. And as you exit the spell, you understand. No.
I come back to the group and go, alright, A, we can trust Malcolm with the scroll. Yippee-doo-dah!
Yay!
Yippee doo dah.
B, we cannot destroy the scroll. It's impossible.
That's
Like
a
a thumbs up.
bummer.
Can we get a second opinion?
The god in my chest tells you no, but if you'd like to ask someone other than the god in my chest, be my guest.
Why don't we ask Malcolm?
Yeah. Supposedly he can be trusted.
According to the rock in my chest.
Trusted to do what?
I
Doran,
asked
what did
if
you
we
ask
could-
if it was trust?
I asked if he could be trusted with the scroll. When I asked the same thing of the queen, it responded the same way Mr. responded to Bess. So
Okay, well, that's good.
this one was a much more calming feel.
Okay.
But that also could be a bias because Malcolm does worship the same rock I do. But I will try again on a different time period and see if I can get more answers about other questions I have. But for now, as far as I'm concerned, there's no point in researching into destroying the scroll.
Okay.
Rather, it seems that, lucky us, one of us is going to be stuck with the wonderful duty of guarding a magical scroll for the rest of their lives.
I guarded a cursed rock once. I was pretty good at it. So maybe it'll be me.
Wherever Zelfer is, he thinks you're wrong. He just gets that ping in his chest and across his face.
All right.
Right.
Well,
With that, the night grows quiet as the night guard starts to take his place and the building begins to quiet down. You all find your rest within the old Cloaked Rangers headquarters, familiar to some of you, more familiar to others, and eventually wake up in the morning to the sound of expectant footsteps echoing throughout the halls as people are making their way to the mess hall for breakfast. And you can all take your benefits of a long rest, of course. Replenish your spells and whatnot.
I get to heal 3 HP, yay!
Oh yeah, you got burned.
Yeah, whose fault was
Yeah.
that?
So
I
yes.
have used 0 spell slots.
So having learned more about this power word truth scroll and Doran being quite sure if you spent another 5 or 6 hour stint, if you found the time at some point, or you could break it up to spend more time on the spell. The next time you cast it, you will have a full casting and you will have it.
Okay. For that, does it have to be just sitting and focusing in on it, or could I like sit and somewhat practice it while we walk?
You could try to practice it while you walk, but you can imagine that won't be nearly as effective.
Blake wants to know because sometimes he likes to do things multitask.
If you do so, if you kind of take a back seat on watching and while you're walking, you just kind of try to stay quiet and focus, I will take that into consideration, but it won't be much. But regardless, you guys wake up in the morning to the smell and sounds of breakfast. I presume you all make your way to, because it is a free breakfast and it's pretty good. Again, you have your choice of some meats, eggs, I guess you could say, fantasy equivalent of pancakes.
Do they
Oh.
got cheese?
They got
Circles.
cheese. You want cheese on your eggs? They'll give you cheese on your eggs.
I want cheese
if
on
there's
my
anything, if there's anything kind of like leftover, toast crust, eggshells, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
Yep, this is like
Stick
an
some of that.
yeah, you sure do. And you
Oh,
get some weird
I
looks as you go
hate
around and kind of just eat some of the scraps. People are like,
I
"What the fuck?"
hate you so much.
I say, oh, I can't be poisoned or get sick, so I thought.
You get the strange looks get even stranger, and people start to ignore you as you just kind of gobble down some leftovers. It's perfectly fine to you. In fact, it's still kind of good. This is like an American buffet where people just like throw away half a plate of perfectly good food. You're like half of it's not even leftovers.
There
You're
you
like,
go.
why wasn't this eaten? And you just gobble it down.
It's away.
Are they doing that? Like, is that something that's happening?
Kind of, yeah.
Any of the plates that aren't actually leftovers, I would like try to get some of, not to eat, but to like bring with us and use as to give to people. Because a lot of people here are starving.
Are you guys gonna kind of make an effort to collect scraps and leftovers? Because it's good food. Because together, is it just Doran and Six?
I'll definitely help.
I will say.
I'll help.
Okay, so the three of you can each take, because these do come on like proper plates, but there's also leaf wrappings. You can take into your inventory 3 leftover meals.
All right.
Yeah, you can kind of gauge. The Pretians are used to. It is a land of plenty. These people are just fine. So
as people are like looking at me questioning, I go, some of the cloak rangers have had nothing but stew for like the past 2 months.
Actually, make a charisma check quick. 24. So Doran notices as you guys are gathering some food that people are giving looks, and he kind of not announces to everybody, but says to one person in particular exactly that. And the way he said it, it seems so sincere, and it seems so caring. Some of the people look around, give a nod, and they as you guys are finishing gathering some of your food, another bundle, like more properly wrapped in, like they give you proper wrappings in like a cloth bag, and they put it down in front of you guys, and one of the soldiers says, "They may not be our brothers, but they are comrades all the same. Please give this to them with our best in mind." And Dorn, or whoever wants to, you can add a bag of 10 good meals. 10 good Pretian meals to your inventory, or you can spread it amongst yourself, however you'd like.
Six thanks them a lot.
Yeah.
I was going to use a different adverb, but I whatever.
Six thanks them a fuck ton. You guys thank them a fuck ton, and don't get me. There are a few soldiers who just go whatever and like leave, but it seems much like any place. There's some good and some bad. Some people are like whatever, they don't care. But there are a few soldiers who went and got seconds for themselves and asked for extra and seem to have pulled together a nice bundle for you guys or for the Cloaked Rangers.
I would ask because now we all know that Alistair can cast Sending.
Yes.
I would say, Alistair, you want to tell one of the some of the Cloaked Rangers, maybe Light, ask him to send a patrol to meet us halfway between here and the church. We have some food for them from the Parisians.
Yeah, I can do that.
You know, so we're not carrying food with us for a few days, and we can get it to them as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'd relay that with sending to probably Light and see if he could send,
To
a group
Light?
of 10.
A group of 10.
Well, we got 10 meals, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you got 19 if you're giving all of them that you guys collected. You got 10 extra after the fact.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm
Then-
giving all.
But one of
three
them
mine.
is in a large cloth bag, all bundled up in leaf preservings, and the other 9 are individual. You can probably fit them in the bag. You have 19 in total in one large bag.
Do we want to send them all with them, or?
Tell them to send a small scouting party. We have some food for them, courtesy of the Parisians. Do tell him the number. Make sure he knows there's only 19 meals. But I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure they can stretch it.
I'd relay that to Light.
Okay. You send that message, and he would say, "Well, actually, I do actually need to know exactly what you say."
Okay.
Ow.
Unless
Oh,
you can just say you relay the message, but then. No, I'm just
Okay,
gonna do you the favor.
I'm blanking on the word. Could you send a not search party?
scouting.
A scouting party. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna do you this favor regardless, because if you say meet halfway between here and the church, that could. Are you going around
Oh,
the city?
yeah,
Are
I
you
forgot.
going through the city? Like.
I forgot to count the words before I hit enter.
Bit of food for you guys, 19 rations worth. Could you send a scouting party to meet us halfway to the church? We'll get that across. And he would respond,
Oh fuck, that's 26.
yeah, halfway to the.
We have some food.
Yeah, that's fine. You mean in the city, or? I'll send a party to the Hopkins Mill, because I presume you're not going through the city. Well done, and thank you.
Okay, I'd tell the party that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's.
All right. With bundles
the
of food
mill.
in hand, you guys start making your way to the mill, which will be roughly halfway to the Church of the Rock. This will be a bit of a journey, as you've been
Wait,
kind
they
of.
know there are rats there, right?
You have
I
informed him.
believe we have told them
Okay, good.
multiple times.
Yep, you have informed him. Can you all roll a d6 for me?
What's the weather like?
Let's find out. Actually, pretty mild. A little cloudy. Every now and then, some sun peeks through the clouds.
The sun will
No
come
run.
up.
No rain.
Good.
Okay, we got a 3, 6, 4, 4. Good. Okay, good. So you guys make your way. You leave relatively early still, so you'll be making it to the Hopkins Mill just before noon. Actually, I could probably figure this out more properly for you, so I don't
As they're
jib
walking.
you. So that's approximately 12 miles. Oh yeah, so you arrive there at like I don't know 11 a.m. And as you guys are making your way across the bridge over the river, you can see just a couple 100 feet ahead. There's a group of 5 cloaked ranger scouts kind of waiting, looking around, and they see you, and one hails, and they start making their way to you. And one in particular seems to be quote unquote leading the charge. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. On the way there, you guys would run into the farming party. Because you sent some mercenaries along with some cloaked rangers to start securing some farmland south of Shinebright, and you'd pass right through that. So I will show you that, in fact, there is progress being made. You would come across a couple of old farmhouses that seem to be a bit in a state of decay, and they have sheds, and there's an old well. Things are being patched up. There's some tents set up. You can see some civilians tilling soil. And actually, if you look toward the lower right and left of the map you're seeing, you can see where the mercenaries have set up their camp and have constructed kind of makeshift, 10-foot tall watchtowers to keep an eye on things. And you can see that farming it's not a lot, but it is underway. So with
Good to
that,
see progress.
yeah, you do in fact see there's visible progress. But then eventually you do make it to the cloaked rangers, who one hails you. Good to see you all. We were told to come meet you here. What seems to be the problem? What can we help you with?
We just have all of this food and no one to give it to.
He looks at the large bag.
So
Very
anyways,
well. We can help you with that. Absolutely, absolutely. And it still kind of smells nice, like it's all wrapped up.
I put my 3 in there. Do everyone else?
I
does-
would, yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're
So
not extra
19
not get
meals
put
in the
there.
bag. And
I would
these
say
cloaked
the-
rangers. Go ahead.
There are 19 meals in here. Do your best to share what you can. I know it's not the most.
Is that in order?
I can't order you guys.
I'm sorry. He was looking at Best or 6.
You don't have to eat it. We
What a-
go ahead and take it.
One of the cloaked rangers behind the guy talking, he just kind of smacks him in the back of the head. We're sharing it. And the cloaked ranger, the one who holding the bag's like, all right, it's an order, yeah. Thank you so much.
Gotcha.
He just takes a big whiff in the bag. Oh, where did this come from?
Christians. They are sharing with their brothers in arms.
Oh, we gotta send them a thank you. Let's go, boys. And they take the bag and like excitedly start running back to Shinebright with it.
Our baker friends up north. Perhaps we should just put in a order of bread. Just a large amount of bread.
Yeah,
They'd
you know,
probably like that.
they
Stu looks over at 6. He goes, I love bread. Perhaps one of my favorite foods.
you know that the situation in Shinebright is they have enough and they get enough in trade to like get by and make that shitty stew. Like they're not gonna run out of food and start starving. But you were correct in saying that
Endless
mostly
shitty
all they
stew.
have is like kind of shitty like bland stew, just something to
Which
keep
is-
them going. And this is gonna be a big morale booster. But eventually, as you guys continue walking all day, from the Hopkins Mills to the church is another 10
yeah,
miles approximately.
Probably after the mill, if it's still around noonish and the sun's out. And I'd kind of look at Doran as we're walking. What do you think the sun is?
I look up at it and go, very hot.
But there's no magic that I know of that's centered around the sun. I feel like if it's such a big force that it encompasses the entire Earth, there could be a spell about it or something.
There are spells that mess with the sun.
I know.
Sunlight.
Yeah, sunlight's literally just sunlight, but I mean, it doesn't really do damage. I feel like if the sun is this
Sunbeam.
bright and hot, there's a spell called Sunbeam.
There's a sun. I think there is.
Well, it kind of renders my entire just then pointless, I guess. Well, damn. I'll have to look into that because I've always been
Oh.
fascinated by it.
Well, I know there's gods based around the moon. There's sunbeam and sunburst. Sunburst is a very strong spell. Actually, very strong indeed.
Are we walking while we talk about this nonsense?
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, it's just idle chit chat as we walk.
I know before
I made sure of it.
I understand that before the gods of today, that some people used to worship natural things like the sun and the moon.
So that's a good idea, though. The sun's so powerful. I'd worship the sun if it was time previous than this. I think it's made of fire.
I
Fire.
would like to make a minor illusion sun in my hand.
You can.
I kind of look at it and go,
Just
Are
a
you made
regular
of-
yellow orb.
are you made of fire, little guy?
Are you talking to the illusion of the sun?
You know what? When I bed down tonight and I ask my god, the god in my chest, my questions, I will ask if the sun's made of fire for you.
I feel like that is a waste of a question, but if you feel the need to do that, go ahead.
I will do it for you. I just want you to know I will do it for you.
Okay.
For the next little bit, Doran will every now and then will stare at the sun until his eyes hurt and then look away. He's just like, "Are you a fire?" Fire
I was
doesn't-
just gonna kind of take off his trench coat that he's got on and kind of like take in the sun. Fight with it. It's a nice day out. That's all. That's all I wanted to. It's a little conversation piece.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys for that, whatever that was.
Just thinking of it a few days ago, like in D&D, nobody really knows about space or anything like that. So like,
It's not true.
people are like, "You're dumb. Shut up." Never mind.
I mean, do they know what the sun's made out of?
And some D&D campaigns that are like actual Wizards of the Coast canon, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well this one doesn't. So
I mean, I haven't actually decided that, but here's
Well,
when
you
you
can
when you
decide
ask
now.
tonight, you're gonna learn something. Okay. So eventually, just before 3 p.m., you guys continue your long walk circling the city, and you start to approach the Church of the Rock, and you can see, just behind the church, Malcolm is sitting on a rock. He has his head bowed. He seems to be praying or something, but he is in fact where he said he'd be. He's waiting by the pond just outside of the church.
I would run up to him and like jump almost in his lap.
Okay, sorry, I'm just pulling up the map now.
Malcolm!
Alright, let me go ahead and put him there. Put you guys back over here where you belong. So it's going to be in the top right corner of the map here.
Where that is on the map.
Once I get the map, sorry, I'm working on it. Where the
I
fuck
smell
did
like
my,
apples.
where did my church? Oh, it's way over there.
Sauce issue?
There we go.
What?
do you think this
Oh,
is
God
because
damn
of
it.
the amount of Mentos you ate?
Yeah.
No,
So
I smell like apples because my body wash is apple scented.
oh, interesting. Regardless, you guys do see, you do see Doran start sprinting and run over and like hop onto Malcolm's lap and actually, oh wow! Somehow, miraculously, Malcolm, you land on his lap. He's like, oh my, oh, and like he almost falls over and it takes you with him, but he just pulls back up. Good to see you as well. Could you
How
get off
private.
of me, please?
I get off him. How private is this spot?
Not as private as it could be, but if we go around the pond a little bit, just to the other side, we'd see anyone coming our way.
Can we do
Do
that?
we have? Why don't we take an enclosed room somewhere? I have a spell that I learned recently that can actually make it a private room.
I could ask. I could ask if we could borrow one of the offices.
And that would be preferred to being outside where anybody can see anything.
Very well. Can I ask what this is for? You said an artifact, a magic item. Also, does this mean you don't hate me anymore?
Alistair just
Um,
looks at him.
I've never hated you. We were
Well,
brothers and under
I don't
God.
think I hate you.
not you. He kind of like sheepishly looks over at Six.
Pettifer, I don't hate you
This
at
is
all.
not Pettifer. This is
I think
Oh. It's
This is-
who?
Malcolm.
Oh, it's Malcolm. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Um,
Pettifer, I don't hate you at all. Malcolm just starts crying.
Malcolm, I don't hate you.
Uh,
That's never been an issue.
right.
You're still our friend. I simply fear for my other friends, who as well. If you were as heartbroken as Marcus, I would be concerned for your safety and the person that did that to you as well.
He visibly like shudders at the mention of Marcus. Right. I'll go inside and I'll ask if we can borrow the office for how long? 10 minutes?
Might be longer.
There-
It's something.
I'd say
Um,
give it at least 20.
Would I know about the handwriting thing? Would you guys have mentioned that? to
I
me throughout
presume that
the-
knowledge is shared. You were, yeah.
I will whisper in his ear very softly. That has a little bit to do with Zimmer.
You seem kind of grimace at that name. Very well. Give me a moment. And he leaves you guys to head into the church for a moment. Was there anything you wanted to do or talk about, or are you just gonna wait for him for a minute?
I smack Six on the arm slightly.
What?
Kind of playfully, like not actually upset, like more.
Okay.
All right, so he's not gonna have to make the
I don't
Constitution
hate
saving
him.
throw because it
No,
was just a quick
I
smack.
barely
Yeah.
touch him. I go, you are a guilt-tripping asshole sometimes.
I don't lie, Doran. If that's my worst fault, I'll take it.
No, you have worse. And then I don't talk until Malcolm says.
Right. No, you have worse, and there's kind of a semi-awkward silence. I was going to say in the room, you're outside, among the group for just a minute, until Malcolm returns and tells you, right, we have the office for half an hour or so. He said he wouldn't be using it, but he was a little suspicious, so let's just keep it as brief as we can, I suppose. I don't know. I'm very curious. Let's go. I presume you all follow him into the office.
And I wait for Mr. Alley Bear, Alley Berry.
I would kind of, how I want it to go is I'd tap my cane on the floor and kind of have the gem at the end glow as it's like a sphere of octarine energy that kind of encompasses the room and sets in. And I will actually, I'll use all of the properties there.
So, it is completely soundproofed. The barrier is a bit dark.
Yeah, if anybody opens the door, all they see is like a cloud of dark mist.
Interesting. Sensors created by it can't appear inside. Okay, so we can't be scryed on or arcane-eyed. And it can't be targeted by the divination spell. Okay, nothing can teleport in or out. It's blocked. Planar travel is blocked. Cool. Okay, so, Alistair, you're quite confident. And the rest of you see this kind of black fog just kind of go over the door and the windows, and as you speak now, there's no echo. It is like perfectly soundproofed, and seems like he actually did a great job really securing this place for you guys.
Okay. The second that's up, I go power word truth.
Well, with a nat one,
EPs.
his eyes widen, and he looks at you. Whoa, what?
Have
So
a seat.
you do know what it is. Okay.
What? And he starts kind of actually.
For you to remember.
He was standing. He kind of starts backing toward the door a bit, like facing you. He's like, that's, what?
Malcolm,
Have a
it is
seat.
important for you to remember that the past is the past, and that we understand that.
Make a persuasion check.
I would also like to interject as he says this. I did ask the rock, and it says we can trust you with this.
13. He's like, his back is almost against the door, and he's standing there like wide-eyed, looking terrified. He's looking directly at Six. He hears you, Doran, but he's looking directly at Six. His shoulders slump a bit, and he kind of just leans against the door and like slumps back and sits down, leaning against the door. He just slides down and sits.
No reason to be ashamed. We are moving forward, and we believe you can help us with that.
That means a lot coming from you of all people, but what, how do you know about this? What do you know? What is
Oh, it's the
this?
scroll.
His eyes widen even further. You what? He shouts. Luckily, this place is soundproof, but there's no echo. He's just, you what? His voice raises. Where did you find it?
With the giant spider.
In
What?
the library.
It was in the library the whole time?
It was missing?
Well, from us? We were, oh my.
Let's start with something. The Queen of
I
Thieves
think I'm going to
wants
have a heart attack. Oh, he starts kind of leaning forward a bit.
Everybody,
I hand
stop
him the
talking.
flask,
Just stop. Just.
and I say,
He looks at it. Oh, I don't drink. And he pops it open and takes a big swig. Oh, that's
I
disgusting.
take it back.
Oh.
I take it back.
I would like to sit down next to Malcolm
Mm-hmm.
and say, take a few deep breaths and start from the beginning.
Can anybody hear us?
No, the room
No.
is completely soundproofed.
And we can't be scried upon.
Oh, you're sure? Okay. So no magic can see us either.
On
I
my
show him
life,
the-
it cannot.
Or I point to the amulet.
You have an amulet.
Just
You've cast
to-
a spell. Okay.
Just to ease my own mind too, I'm going to cast my 3rd level non-detection on Malcolm.
And he recognizes the spell, and you see, like, as he's recognizing all of these precautions, he kind of takes a deep breath. Oh, okay. And you promise you're not going to kill me?
I promise.
I've
I'm not
taken
going to kill you.
a vow of nonviolence.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Against
haven't, but I
people.
won't kill you.
Right. Okay. The scroll, when we were working on it, we hadn't finished it, but the plan was a new powerful weapon, a new kind of spell, something we could have an upper hand on anybody we needed it on. We didn't really need it at the time, but you know, when you're running a large organization that spans across the continents, you want to have precautions in case you ever need it. So we were working on this, and basically, when we were about halfway, three quarters of the way done, my superior took he took it away from us, and he hid it. And he wouldn't tell us where he hid it, but he said, since we knew what components we needed, once we had created those components and finished, and once we had done all that, then we could continue work. It was just a safeguard, and I haven't seen it since. You really have it. You have it on you.
Yes.
May I see it?
No.
Why not?
No,
This-
I'm just kidding. I don't
This is
know,
my
yes.
work.
I have.
Well, parts of my
I-
work.
I look at Bess and go, when I asked the rock, it said we can trust him. But it is in your hands.
I will hold the scroll. I'm not going to let Malcolm touch it, but I'll hold it out for him to read.
Okay. He sees it. His eyes widen again. And he kind of like he lurches forward, just not like reaching for it, but he kind of leans forward a bit and kind of like he's literally on his hands and knees, and he crawls toward it a little bit and is just looking at it. And his eyes are wide, and his mouth is agape. And you see him mouthing something. He's just kind of so quietly speaking to himself and reading and looking. And he stops. I can't believe it. And he leans back and sits back against the door again. They finished it. Those bastards finished it. Without us.
Who's those bastards?
The guild. The
Guild?
assembly. They must have done it. Or Zimmer or somebody. I mean, I had several comrades in this endeavor. We were trusted with it as lead researchers in the Direwood area. What I'm about to tell you is what I'm afraid of being killed over, so please, Six, would you sit down?
Of course.
So you take the stool, and he says,
I do.
the explosion, the hysterium, all of it, it wasn't meant to go the way it did, but it was all for this. It was for this scroll. It
I was right.
meant to be a catalyst, a new ingredient to start a new school of magic, and this would be the top of the food chain. This would be the top level magic that it could do. And when we created the hysterium, it was unfortunately when we finally did what we had to push it forward. When Zimmer did what he had to, or he felt he had to, he gave it too much juice, we'll say. And that's what happened. And, well, obviously since then, I've been here trying to complete my work and find the scroll and earn my title back at the Mages Guild. Ever since what happened, we've been excommunicated.
So, you're telling me that a spell called Power Red Truth blew up a city?
In a roundabout way, I suppose. It was more like the creation for the ingredients for the spell was what blew up an entire city. He just looks down and he looks completely downtrodden.
The Queen of Thieves wants it.
He kind of narrows his eyes. Well, from what I know of her, she'd have no way of using it.
She seems to think she does.
Well-
She's very keen on having it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she could find 500 gold worth of diamonds, and I'm sure she has some personal token, and she could easily procure 10 pounds of hysterium.
What does the spell do?
No, I'm sorry. No, it's not. It's far more powerful than any one person or group should have.
Malcolm, we truly seek to understand the knowledge behind this, to understand why the Queen wants it. She's holding hostages as the price for this scroll.
Make a
To help us understand this scroll is to help us value it against the lives of our loved ones.
Make a persuasion check. That one. Oof.
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 After what I said, though,
Here's the thing, I thought about giving you advantage because it was very heartfelt, but that would still only be a 4.
fuck you.
He seems to hear you, but he just keeps looking down and he shakes his head. It's
I'll
not
get past.
it's not against you. It's I wasn't even entirely sure if we should be doing what we were doing when we were doing it, and now that I've seen the products, the fruits of my labor, I don't want it to see the light of day. However,
I'd like to move in front of the door.
he is like leaning on the door. He's sitting up against it.
So it's closed?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I look at Bess and go, "What? If we don't know what it does, I say we get Alistair's father back. Let's go give it to the Queen. Thanks for your help, Malcolm."
No, listen. Perhaps it doesn't matter. Perhaps you could give it to the Queen. I don't think she could use it, though I don't really know who she is actually.
The Rock told me not to, but I'd rather save a loved one. And I give him a pat on the shoulder.
If the Rock told you not to give it to her, you would be breaking every code that you have ascribed to yourself too by giving it to her. I know you wouldn't do that, Doran.
Well, look at who has the scroll, I say, standing up. Thanks
She
for
has
your time.
she has no such bounds.
I'm telling you, even if you did give it to her, I'm not sure she could use it. But if she could, I don't know what would happen. Well,
it sounds like you actually do.
I
and you
know-
just don't want to tell us.
I don't want to tell anyone. I don't want anyone to use it. I don't want anyone to have it. If I could destroy it, I would. Or
But you can't.
I would take it and bring it back to the Mages Guild at least.
You would let them have it, and you're not even...
I trust them more than I trust most people here. That's not to say I don't trust you lot. I just...
Here's the situation, Malcolm. She knows what it does. She's willing to completely leave everything in Direwood and leave forever to get this scroll. She knows what it does. I don't know how she knows she knows this, but she knows this. We are on unequal footing.
And
We
how is
need it-
this my battle?
Because we're bringing you into it right now.
Am I going to be a target for her?
Most likely, she knows you have a connection to Six. She kidnapped his father! Just right to Alice there. She knows I'm affiliated with the group. How long do you think for it to trickle down until she knows you had anything to do with this?
He looks over to Bess, because she's the one holding it. Are you still holding it, or did you put it away, or?
I'm still holding it.
He looks at it, looks up at you, looks at it, looks up at you. You have to promise me, with your life and your very essence, that you will not use it. Or if you have to, you will not use it to its fullest capabilities. It could kill you. It could kill all of us.
You
It could
have
cause
my
another
word.
explosion. He looks down, and there's a pregnant pause in the room for about 30 seconds. Power, word, truth. The reason we called it that, firstly, because some of its origins are derived from other power word spells, but truth was my idea, because by invoking this ritual, you, in a sense, conjure, teleport even, all of the collective knowledge of the universe, the cosmos, every tree, every person, every past life, every god, into one person's mind for just a second. And usually, that second is just long enough, usually, that it won't kill you, and that you can glean a few answers to any questions you have about anything. So, that could be something like, who is my best friend? Or something like,
I feel like that'd be a waste of the spell.
right, but it could also be as complex as, how
What is
could
the
I...
sun made out of?
Oh, sure, what is the sun made of? Or, how do I kill this specific god? And because it is giving you the collective knowledge, truth of the universe, you will get the best answer for you. Because your will be melded with the will of everything for just a brief moment. It's beautiful. Or at least that's how the spell is supposed to work. I didn't, unfortunately, have a hand in finishing it. They finished it without me, but that's what it's supposed to do. There are severe dangers, though. It could kill you, or either any of the casters casting it. You do need more than one. And if it backfires, if during the ritual somebody dies or passes out, not even I know what will happen, but it wouldn't be good.
So,
Are you happy?
terrified, actually.
As am I.
But it
And
puts
he's
us on-
shaking just talking about it.
on equal playing field. Now, here's the thing. Would you be able to know how to destroy the scroll with the scroll itself?
He thinks for a moment. He smiles a little bit. I wouldn't, but I have a feeling the scroll would. The scroll is not a living thing, but the essence of the magic that it controls makes it all living things for just a moment. So, someone out there, with their consciousness combined, probably knows if there's a way. But frankly, this is a spell more powerful than even I could dream of casting myself in my life. This is something that I'm not even sure I'd take the risk of casting. As you understand, there are tiers of spells. You have your cantrips, and then tier 1, tier 2, all the way up to tier 9. You could consider this a tier 10, except it's not. We just refer to it as an epic tier spell. Its power is truly, genuinely, definitionally epic.
Fuck you, Holden. Oh, sorry, that's in my throat. Oh.
I'm using the word as it's meant to be used.
I know, because I've watched the same video.
What?
I've watched all those videos about upper tier spells.
Oh, this was influenced by that, but nope, this is all me.
Yeah, but just the fact that you're using that same phrase.
Epic tier spells are a thing, but this is not the same thing. But I just realized just now, yeah, you're right. I guess I accidentally, subconsciously did that. But yeah, regardless, he continues. This is beyond any kind of spell that one caster could learn, memorize, and cast. It would take at least 2. And 1 recipient. The casters cannot receive it. So, as I understand, there are 3 casters among you. You would all have a better chance at living if you all performed it, but then 6 would take the brunt of it, and he could die.
You know, and you said there's ways to lessen the power of it.
Right. If you ask more mundane questions, there's a better chance you will survive. But regardless, all of the consciousness and all of the knowledge of the truth of the universe converges in your mind for a brief instant. And that much could melt anyone's brain, really.
Could it give you multiple personalities?
What are you getting at?
What if it was tested
How so?
on someone, and instead it didn't kill them because they used it as a minor question, but it caused them to go crazy?
I suppose that's plausible.
And that's how they would know about what the scroll is and what it does. Also knowing where it would be kept. Because they knew it was in the Mage's Guild.
Suddenly his eyes widen. I see.
Oh. I think Alistair's eyes widened too at that one.
Doran kind of leans against the wall and goes,
That's possible, but as far as I'm aware, there's only ever been 1 copy of the scroll. I suppose if they finished it, they could have more. But based on...
You didn't know where it was.
I only ever knew of the 1. I'm saying it's possible they made more copies. It's possible they kept the knowledge, especially if they considered it, if they finished it. I would actually bet coin on them making copies, or at least keeping the knowledge of it. It's very expensive. In order to make a copy, or in order to ever use it, they need quite a bit of hysterium. So I haven't seen any Mage's Guild activity around here. I would wager they know how to do it, but don't have the means to at the moment. That looks like the original, based on my handwriting being on it, so somebody else using it is unlikely but possible, because it's a scroll. Once you use it, it's gone.
So, in theory, someone could have made a copy of this, used it on someone mundane, and that's... Because, explain to me how else someone would know about this. If someone out there, which we know for a fact knows what this is, where it was, and what it does, that's one of the few options that exist for why they would, or how they would know how to use it.
Well, if she did do that, that's plausible, I suppose. Or she was somehow affiliated with the Mage's Guild beforehand and knew of the project. There were perhaps a couple dozen people in the world who knew about this. But I only personally knew about 10 of them.
But she knew where it was in the guild itself. She knew it was there, hidden.
Well, I don't know how it got there. I didn't put it there.
Yes. I'm just being led to believe, from what you've told me, that they made multiple copies. They finished it, made multiple copies, but had to test it.
That could be.
And mundane question picked a recipient, and it damaged her, and that is why she is the way she is.
I wouldn't put it outside the realm of possibility. It's perhaps a stretch, but could happen. That may be the case. If your brain wasn't completely fried, I was never there to see it done. Perhaps it could corrupt you, mold you, change you, split you even.
Because even you, as one of the original people to work on it, don't know everything about it, and she seems to know, honestly, more than you, except for maybe the creation step. She knows a lot about this scroll.
The only one who would know more details about the scroll, or the only people who would know more details about the scroll, are those who worked on it.
Does this face look familiar to you? And I'll switch into the queen.
Not that one. No.
I switch back. Do you know anyone who, in the Mages Guild, who detested changelings?
I mean, there aren't many of them in the world, as I understand. There was one possible student who actually, his racism and hot-headedness was one cause for him being rejected from the school. I remember he was to be my apprentice if he was accepted.
Gender seems off.
Right, it wasn't. That's why I'm saying I don't think it was her. Unless she was masquerading as a man, she easily could. In fact, it wouldn't be masquerading. Changelings don't really have gender, so.
She doesn't seem to be a changeling herself. She seems to hate them. Test them.
Oh, she's the racist one. I understand. No,
She hates
it wouldn't have been her then. I don't. There was only one student who I know for certain was had a strange hatred for changelings, but he was quite young. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know what else it could be. I don't know how else she could know unless she was a part of the process of making it, which I'm quite certain she wasn't, unless she's... Has she ever... You killed Zimmer. Or at least some of you did.
That's what I've been led to believe by these people.
Have you ever heard of somebody going by the name of Joystar?
No, but I do know a Joester.
How about...
Holden, does the name sound familiar to me?
No. Vilsevel?
Joyster.
Mr. Joester.
Joystar. And Visafil?
Vilsevel. Vylsevel.
ILS.
And then there was Milrona, but she was... That was it. Us five were the ones who were writing on this. We are the ones who had our handwriting in this.
How? You are part of Mages Guild. Would they be opposed to taking just someone and forcing them to do it?
Opposed? No, but it would be a bad idea, giving that much potential power to just some random person on the street.
Not if they kept them in control and forced them to be prisoner.
I don't think...
Could someone else under a spell be made the recipient?
Perhaps, but I imagine if we use some sort of spell to control them, and then had them receive this spell, I can't know for certain, but I have a feeling this spell would override any other magics. If you're trying to get at 6 being a potential for such a thing, that was never the intention.
No. I'm getting at... What if the queen didn't do it on purpose? What if she didn't decide to be the test subject?
If we're going along with the idea that she was in fact a test subject for some other scroll, then perhaps if they trusted her enough, there are ways to verify beforehand there are some person's intentions. Truth spells. Perhaps if she told them truthfully what she wanted to ask with the spell, and they might let her do it.
Experiment?
If she
Like
was an
myself?
experiment, she was not one I was aware of. I'm sorry, I'm racking my brain for anything, but
I have another question.
hmm.
I know we can't destroy the scroll. Could you modify it in a way that would make it not work? If we got you materials, because your handwriting's on it, it wouldn't look suspicious.
Such a thing is possible, but it would take weeks of study for me to know how to break it correctly. Because if I didn't, if I just broke it, if you were to take some arcane ink and start scribbling on it, it could explode, it could trigger, it could do any sort of crazy catastrophic thing. I would need weeks to finish studying what they finished on there to know how to break it. And even if I could break it without knowing too much more, the best I could guarantee is modifying it to the point that it wouldn't be as potent or it wouldn't be as dangerous.
Okay, so that's an option on the table.
But this would take weeks and weeks.
I'm trying to balance out all the options we have regarding this piece of parchment.
Well, let's consider what we know. Myself, Zimmer, and 3 other of my associates, who none of you seem to know, created this. Once we figured out the components needed, the actual scroll was hidden from us while we finished creating the components. There was one potential student I can think of that had a bit of a hatred for changelings in particular, but I don't think they're related. There's... The Queen is unlikely to have had a hand in the process of the spell, but perhaps she was... We don't know how she became the way she became. Perhaps it is possible the Mages Guild took our work, finished it, created copies, and used one of those copies as a test, and used her as a test. Though I find that unlikely. I don't know. What more are you looking to gain here? You know what it does now, despite my best judgment.
We know not to give it to her. Okay? Right? That's out of the question.
Well, I wouldn't say it's out of the question. I doubt she could use it, but if she could...
She seems positive that she can.
Very well.
So, let's add that in there. So she cannot touch this scroll.
Very well.
She is more than willing to kill to get the scroll. We can assume she has the components already. Or at least can get them pretty easily if she needs to.
What would she want with it?
That's
what would she ask?
the fear, isn't it?
Would she ask how to take Direwood? Would she ask how
She
to...
doesn't seem to care about that. She is willing to leave Direwood and never touch it again for this scroll.
Perhaps she's... Well, if we're going with your theory that the scroll originally changed her, perhaps she would ask how to reverse that.
Bess, when you asked Mistra about giving the scroll, how was the response from her?
The spell can be used for great good or evil. She is neither. The outcome is uncertain. Mistra at least wants it used for balance. And she doubts that Queen would use it for that purpose.
So, our other option... Malcolm, what is the danger to the casters?
Well, Their very will be tested, and if there is any hiccup during the casting of the spell, it could backfire and harm them permanently in one way or another, and if they are incapacitated or killed, then the spell entirely backfires.
So.
And of course, they also have to give up a personal effect, a token, something meaningful to them. So, emotional damage if you're very nostalgic.
So, our options are to cast it on 6, have him ask a mundane question as to not kill him, and destroy the scroll for good.
That's a
Then-
ticket for Alistair's father dying.
Yes, it would be.
Not sure I like that option.
No, but let's say we save Alistair's father, right? Then we can get rid of the scroll, and then we can kill the queen. Because on those 3 things I said we need to do, save Alistair's father and the other people being held hostage, figure out what to do with the scroll, and get rid of the queen, that solves all 3. I'm looking for a solution that hits all 3 marks. Right now. Plus-
Another thing I should mention, I don't know if you only ask one question, if that will increase or decrease the spell's chance of backfiring. Because all of that knowledge being put in your head has to go somewhere. At the end, it is dispersed back to the universe, but if there are questions left unasked, I don't know what will happen.
Which means
We
6
really ride the mundane question thing here, huh?
6 might not be the best person then. I believe 6, you have more questions that remain unanswered in your own head.
I can suppress him. I've been doing that for years.
That's not okay. Missing the point. So, because the question I have that I think a lot of us have, how to fix Direwood. We have a solution. We have it right here.
Typically, I would tell you to be more specific, but because of the nature of the spell, the universe would interpret that question the way you want it to, so that could work.
It gets rid of the scroll after we save Alistair's father, and it gets rid of the queen because we can kill her then.
You are missing one important thing.
Yes.
In order to cast the spell, you need components. You need
Yes,
500 gold worth of diamonds. I don't know where you'll get that.
Do they have to be real diamonds?
Thanks.
Or does the ones the Mages Guild produce work?
Just as you were starting to say that, his eyes light up a bit. Oh. I think those could work.
Alright, so that's done.
But then you also need 10 pounds of hysterium.
I can touch Hysterium.
Right, but while that sounds easy,
Do you know what else is in the Mages Guild? Like, there's a lot of? Hysterium!
Sort of. But the hysterium you need, it can't be... It would have to be the hysterium we designed, because we designed it for the spell. The hysterium has grown a mind of its own, and the hysterium you need 10 pounds of, is in ground zero.
Alright, so that's gonna be a bitch, but possible.
I don't know what's in there.
Neither do I. Alright,
Statues.
What else do
really
we need?
tall statues.
Weird, but alright.
What else do we need, Malcolm?
Then for each caster, a minimum of 2, they need to present something that is genuinely meaningful to them, something they'd be sorry to lose, something that has personal value.
Like my stilts.
I pull out my blue book, my playbook that I've shown people of all the things I've ever done and how I accomplished them and how all of them. This is my entire past in one book.
That would do. In order to receive the truth of the universe, you must give of your own truth. It's a bit philosophical and sappy, frankly, but sometimes magic, that's how it is.
So I have an article, I have an item. But this is, okay, I want to lay out all the options on the table.
Right.
Also,
I just wanted, for your plan, you need to be able to cast it, and I wanted you to know what it would take to cast it.
also, Malcolm, do you trust Tara?
He looks around. You're absolutely certain nobody can hear us.
Yes.
I wouldn't trust her with my small toe.
Good, she's worshipping Shar underneath the temple.
He blinks a
No.
few times.
Now, back to the problem at hand.
He just like buries his face in his hands. Oh my god. Oh, no. Go on.
What do you think there'd be an easy way to isolate and get rid of Tara?
We could attempt to have her usurped.
What if Tara's working with the queen?
What if Tara is the queen? Huh?
I've never seen them in the
Huh?
same room at the same time.
Haha. No, that's unlikely. Well, honestly,
I mean, the
I-
tunnels might all be connected.
Probably are.
tunnels?
There's tunnel systems leading everywhere, including here.
Of course there are. The best shot, if you really wanted to get rid of her, would be to probably stage some sort of accident. Something happened to her while she was away, while in reality, wherever she's worshipping Shah underground, you killed her. That's the simplest way I can think. Otherwise, you'd have to find some way to have the whole church begin to hate her, or let them all know what she's doing. I can tell you, there are good people here, and not many people would react very kindly to such treachery.
But no one's gonna believe us.
Probably not. Was that Jason?
Enough,
I said we could show them.
If you could somehow show them, then perhaps, yes.
going on just let's back up a few steps first. That's another problem. I just figured I trust you, Malcolm. I want you safe. I know you're gonna help. Now that you know that there's someone here who's not out for the best, I hope you can keep some of the innocent people safe.
That's part of the reason I'm here.
Good. That and you hate Marcus. And I
No,
look for his reaction.
no.
I think that, for the record,
Neither do I. I just wanted to test how you were going to respond.
Why are you here, Mel?
I think we should stay on track.
Are you afraid that
leaving the tracks?
the rock you created became a deity?
Of course I'm afraid.
Is that why you're here?
We're not going
don't-
to move on until I tell you, are we?
Probably not, because you've piqued my curiosity, and I have a rock in my chest.
I'm going to say it, and then we're going to move on. I am here because the rock reached out to me while I was attempting to leave. When I had thought I had figured out how to complete the scroll on my own, I was leaving. I thought I'd finished my work with the rats. And yes, I was leaving Marcus behind, but I couldn't exactly take him with me. And when it reached out to me, I realized what I had created holds me dear, and if I leave, it will lash out. I am here because if I leave, I don't know what the rock will do, and I don't want more innocents to die at my hand. Now, moving on quickly from that.
I have one thing I would like to say.
Oh, why?
About that.
Fine.
I kind of lean closer to him. The rock has given Marcus and his friend and his brothers intelligence. They might be able to find home here if we can get rid of the one who stands in our way.
Right, so let's continue thinking of that. Continue with your plan, please.
But I wanted to say that with him with a complete genuine that this could be a place for them forever.
You can tell
the-
he has stopped shaking. He's not like scared, like, oh god, I want to get out of here. He is here. You can tell he is here and he is willing to help now. He just is very uncomfortable.
Malcolm, we hear potentially some sort of proto sample or something of this material may have fallen from the sky. Do you have any? Is there any truth to that?
Sort of. How did you hear that?
A rumor. Where did we hear that? Who said that?
I have no clue what you're on about, to be honest.
This was told to us.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Somebody we were in conversation with, and they suggested that perhaps an earlier form of the hysterium, or perhaps the hysterium itself, the first sample had fallen from the sky and has multiplied from that source, potentially after being experimented on or something.
Was that?
Oh, I think Willow's told you that because he knew Zimmer.
I was gonna say that I thought it was from the
Yeah,
preachings.
you're right. Here's the thing, that that document I was telling you guys about, that's like the secrets of Direwood. That's something I was like, wait, is that something that's only in that document, or did I tell you guys that?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I think Willows did tell you that. Yeah. Malcolm would confirm. At least what Zimmer told me was that a strange purple crystalline meteor fell from the sky and landed almost on his lap, and he took that as a sign, and that's when we began working on it. So, yes, there's some truth to that, or at least if Zimmer is to be believed, and, well, before what happened to him, I think he was to be believed.
Alright. Do you know where Tara is?
Not at this moment. She very often spends several days at a time not within the church.
That the tunnels beneath the church connect to the tunnels that lead to the New Republic.
If there are in fact tunnels connecting from here to the New Republic, and Tara is in fact worshipping Shah, I wouldn't be surprised if she was somehow in cahoots with the New Republic or the Queen or something shifty's going on down there.
Alright. So we need to figure out back into the tunnels, back into that underground chamber, which we know how to get into one door.
We have the password to that, supposedly.
Yes.
Also, there is potentially a second entrance.
So, okay, hold on. Are these actual windows, like, peeking into the office?
Yes, but they're covered by Alistair's spell.
No, in both offices.
Yeah.
So, theoretically, we can get in there.
Yeah, if you wanted to bust through the window, sure.
Or teleport in. Because not
Oh,
everything
'cause
has
you
to
can
be
see.
objective.
If you can see something but have to pass through something, can you? I'll have to look into that, but that's a possibility.
I believe it depends on the spell.
Yeah, that might be a thing, but yeah.
Within range. Because scatter allows me to teleport to any unoccupied space that I can see within 120 feet of me.
Then the window would work, yeah.
So, and then I'm assuming, let me check
Yep.
quick with my own far step. I can teleport you can teleport into any unoccupied space I see. So yes, we can get in
Okay, yeah.
without going through the door.
Malcolm would continue. Regardless of these connections, what do you plan on doing? Are you going to move forward with casting it and asking more mundane questions, or are you just going to actually use it?
That first, we can't touch the scroll until we save Alistair's father. Because any attempt to use the scroll without saving his father will result in his father dying.
Is that what you'll be doing next, then?
It's between that
Doran,
and...
I told you that I'm okay with his death. I have a plan.
Yes, and we've talked about that, but I would try to save him first. Right?
If this spell is truly as dangerous as it says, and it is what in turn caused a pinwheel effect of the city exploding, I think I'd rather have that gone.
So back to the Mages Guild, and then to Ground Zero?
You want to collect... If you want to collect the required components, yes. You would need about 500 gold worth of diamonds. If you have more, if you go overboard, well then they just won't be consumed, so I'd err on the safe side. You'll need to go to Ground Zero to collect 10 pounds of the original hysterium. And then whoever is casting it, whether it be 2 of you or 3, will need 1 personal effect. Something you care deeply for, that you will offer up to the cosmos for its truth.
This is going to kill one of us.
It very well could, which is why I'm not a fan of you using it. But the only way to get rid of it is to use it. And frankly, I'd rather it gotten rid of.
Best ask Mistra.
She already told me she wants it used for balance, and I am not the perfect candidate for such a charge. I doubt that you would be either.
It's not me. We're not the ones using it, and I look at 6.
If she told you that you weren't the perfect candidate, that doesn't mean you're not a candidate.
Well, one of us is using it, and 6 is our only non-caster. unless you want to bring someone else, a third party involved, such as Light, and have them
Or
be
Sam.
or Sam, and have them be the target of our questions. If the best first choice now is to go and cast this scroll, Malcolm, I'm gonna hand him a piece of parchment. I want you to do a few things for me. One, describe what the original hysterium looks like.
Very well.
2, give me some examples of... Give me tier lists with examples of questions. Because you created this... You helped create this thing. You're going to be the best information we can get on it. So if you can give me those things... I look at the party. We might fucking make this work, but we gotta find a place that we can do this safely without getting attacked. Because I'm assuming it's gonna be very loud.
No.
Alistair, look at him and I can set this sanctum up anywhere I want.
I hate to say this, but as much as I want the scroll gone, wouldn't it be quite a waste to only ask mundane questions?
That's why you're giving me a tier list.
Okay.
I want you to go mundane to high tier with examples, and then, be it 6 or whoever we decide, it's in their hands. We're gonna have to work on talking to both the Rock and Mistra and figuring out what balance is.
Very well.
And this piece of fucking parchment is going to kill someone if we don't use it. It's gonna kill
It
way
might
more
kill
people.
someone even if we use it.
Yes, but it might kill way more people if we don't use it. Sadly, we're heroes, and we have to fucking save Direwood, and that
No.
means that thing has to get used.
Right.
But, excuse me if I missed this. Does the person it's targeting have to be in the same room in the vicinity?
Yes, per the spell.
Okay.
The spell involves drawing a very large hexagon, and the person who is receiving the spell must stand in the center.
Malcolm, I hate to say this to you. You're gonna have to be there, not to cast it, but to walk us through the casting of it.
He thinks. If you allow me to have the scroll, give me tonight to study it. I will meet you wherever you need me to meet you. And I will help to walk you through it in a way that you can cast it without studying it for years. It won't be easy, but I think I can do that if you give me time. Give me tonight.
If you want to be here tonight with the scroll alone, I will be here. I will watch that scroll with my life.
That is, I understand completely. In fact, why don't you all just stay here for tonight? We can stay downstairs where you normally would. I'll work on the scroll, and I will have plenty of other materials on me so that if I need to hide it, I easily can. And I will try to spell out as clearly as I can for talented but not as experienced as you could be. All respect, casters. I will try to put it in a way you can understand. Because even I, just looking at it just now, couldn't fully comprehend it. But I know the pieces. I can do it. I just need a night.
I can set this sanctum up downstairs as well.
How long does it last?
A day.
I look at Bess. Bess, what are your thoughts? It's your scroll. You have been given, I'm assuming, charge to really protect it over us. If this is not what you think is best, we will choose a different avenue, but...
We should at least explore it as an option, and once we do have the knowledge, we can go from there.
Okay. Our time is probably going quite short in here, so if you want this ready by tomorrow, I'll be up all night, but I need to get started. So, why don't we head downstairs? I'll begin.
You're not gonna cast it, right?
I don't have the materials to. I couldn't if I wanted to. Do I look like I'm holding 500 in gold and diamonds and 10 pounds of hysterium?
Well, you've already got a few ounces in your chest.
That's
your
true.
Forehead.
But I need the original hysterium.
I can tell this was a bad time for a joke.
Also, please make that list for me. I'm going to go socialize with my brothers in the Rock and
Right.
do my best to maybe glean who knows what Tara is actually doing and who doesn't.
Be
Without
careful.
being too obvious of it.
All right.
Do you trust Yorlin
Of course I trust Yorland.
and
He's one of the
Good.
few people I would trust here with my life.
Yorlin and Savaris?
He's not here.
Yorland? Yorland's here.
No, he's not. He means the room. Jason's being Jason.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
And Savaris?
Yorland. Savaris to an extent. I don't know him as well, but yes.
Alright, then they will be the ones I'll try to talk to and try to
Right.
feel out first.
Well, you do that. Alistair, anybody else, would you like to accompany me downstairs?
Six has the amulet. He goes wherever the scroll goes.
Alistair and Six, Bess, would you like to join us, or would you like to join Doran?
I can definitely set that up down there for you.
I would like to join you.
Very well. You'll be acting as bodyguards of sorts, and this is going to be a long night. So, with that, Doran is going to leave the room. I imagine you all dispel your magics. Don't-
Actually, before that, I'm gonna lean in very close to Malcolm.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say, my family is now involved in this. I'm done being nice. I will do whatever it takes.
He swallows real hard. Understood. And as you all dispel your magics and you exit the office, Yorlin is in fact nearby. He kind of looks over, gives a friendly smile and a little wave. Doran, I assume you go to approach him. The rest of you make your way to the front doors to the church. Head outside, walk to the side entrance that leads down to the basement area where you stayed before, and begin preparations for whatever you're going to do with this scroll. And that is where we're going to leave off for tonight.
I do want to catch Malcolm's eye at some point and kind of give him a sad smile and say, Malcolm, I am sorry.
You would see him kind of just wince a little bit. Thank you. As am I. And you would continue on your way. And we'll pick up there as you guys are going about your business next week.